morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whenever it is you're tuning in. Welcome to Ticket Price Video Edition. That's right, I am Jake, your co-host, with you as always, and you can actually see me now, and my flannel. I'm so sorry. With me as always, co-host extraordinaire, and the only man who thinks anybody wanted to see what we look like. Tevis at Master Control. Tevis, how are you, sir?
Look at this hunk of man right here. Who would not want to see this?
Hunk is a good description, like a big slab might be.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's actually a little chilly today, so I wore my coat. But now we got like the lights on and stuff, and I'm warm.
Yeah,
So
I'm the same way.
I'm going to take my coat off.
Okay, do it.
So I hope that's not too distracting.
I'm going to put some like porn music over the top.
Oh, I'll do it slower.
Yeah, slow down. Slow down. Are you going to take your flannel off? What are you doing? You going to take your coat off?
I did.
Oh, shit. Okay, sorry.
What are you talking about?
It's the same.
It's obviously different.
Yeah, the stripes are a little thicker on this side. Ugh.
He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. So, welcome all to Ticket Price, the only show on the internet that asks the question that matters. Are these movies worth the ticket price? In other words, are they worth your time and money? We're there.
We are.
We said we'd get a camera going in 2025.
Finally.
And you know what? We're looking into equipment and upgrades and different things, but I'm actually kind of there's a little part of me that knows that this is going to be endearing.
It is.
Yeah. Because I think back to our first, 5 episodes of the show where the audio quality is non-existent.
Yeah, when we shared the mic.
We had to share a microphone.
We accidentally touched tongues.
Oh, we're touching knees now, but yeah. Well, so there was one mic in the middle of the table because the second one crapped out for some reason. And instead of postponing, because our concern was we'll keep putting it off and never actually doing the show.
Absolutely.
So we said, nope, screw it. We're going to make it work. And we just took turns leaning. We had to take turns just lean in and talk. And then sometimes we'd lean in at the same time and it got really intimate.
It did.
So no, I think we're going to look back on these early video ones and feel the same way.
Yeah. It was really awkward when we touched noses at one point. It was like, I have something to say. No, I have something to say. No,
that awkward.
I mean, when we didn't have the mic in front of us, it was.
What happens off air stays off air. And actually, you know what? I'm going to let you know that. And Sarah, I know you're watching. What happens off air stays off air.
I feel like I'm missing something.
Oh, no, you're not. She's always referencing shit we talk about off air, behind the scenes, inside jokes. Damn it, Sarah. We can now curse at Sarah when we curse at Sarah.
I do not curse at Sarah. You curse at Sarah.
No, you ask if things make her wet.
What? Oh my God. What I did, didn't I?
Yes.
I forgot all about that.
Okay. Insert that audio clip right here. Oh, wait. Of that happening, because then I went, Tevis, you cannot ask our female guests if things make them wet.
And I don't even remember what it was. But I do remember.
There was something in Lockup, wasn't it? In our Sarah and Sly Lockup episode, I think.
Probably. Okay, moving on.
Does this get you flustered? Pervert. All right. So, Tevis, what are we doing today?
We are talking about a movie.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
It's a movie. It's a movie podcast, so I don't know what the problem is.
So we're obviously talking about wrestling.
Duh.
Or maybe video games.
Yeah. Speaking of wrestling, you brought it up.
No, facetiously.
Yeah.
I brought up facetiously.
So I tagged you in a video.
Yeah.
Did you see that with Braun Breaker doing the spear to Carlito?
You mean when he cut Carlito in half? Yeah. I did see that.
Man, I hate the spear. It's so overused. It's like the super kick.
Oh, agreed.
But The way he does it, so fantastic. He looked like 777 plowing through those train cars. That's the movie we're talking about today. It's Unstoppable.
How long did it take you to come up with that one?
5 minutes.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, I asked ChatGPT.
Weird. Stop it. We're not sponsored by anybody. Stop referencing things that aren't giving us money.
Well, let me delete the Blue Chew thing I have here. So, okay.
Wait. Have you heard about this amazing new mobile game called The Tower? It's an incremental tower defense game.
I hate those games. They suck so much.
Because you're not good at them.
Because we're not sponsored, so fuck them.
That's true. You want us to speak highly of your games? We'll sell out.
Yeah.
Sell out in a heartbeat. All right, but horrible segue aside.
I think it was fine.
It was totally fine.
Shelley Duvall levels of fine. Hell yes. I'm going to put my name right here on the award for this episode.
Absolutely. Episode 88, we're looking at Unstoppable, not to be confused with Speed. Because it's very easy to get these mixed up. Not to be confused with Taking a Pelham 123, which could also get confused in this mix.
Both of them have Denzel.
And trains.
And Tony Scott.
And trains.
And trains.
There's
a theme going here.
Yes. Wait a minute. How many Tony Scott Denzel movies have we watched?
Have we watched?
Yeah.
Just one.
Oh, is it just this one?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I feel like
they've done 5 together.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, because there's this one, Pelham 123, Man on Fire, Deja Vu. And I can't remember the other one.
Well, thank you for bringing down the whole show.
You're welcome. That's my job.
Okay, so they're a big actor-director combo.
They were, yes.
Are they dead?
Tony Scott is dead.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, this was his last movie.
Oh.
Unstoppable.
So he's been gone a while.
Yes, yeah. Oh, Crimson Tide is the other one.
Okay.
That is a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
At least I think it is. I don't know. I haven't watched it forever.
Tony Scott has passed on, but Ridley Scott is still making uncolored grayscale history epics where the perspective is on the part of history no one cares about.
Yeah, at like 80 some years old, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good for him, though.
Given that I have watched Napoleon and Gladiator 2 now, I feel a lot like Denethor. If Ridley Scott were to come in here, he'd be like, "You wish it, don't you, Father? That I had taken Boromir's place and he were here in my stead? I need a cherry tomato." Yes, I do wish that.
You know, I had forgotten about the cherry tomato thing, and I was happy to forget about the cherry tomato thing.
That, if you're of a certain age, there is a huge segment of movie watching audiences. That scene is burned into our brain.
It's disgusting, and I hate it.
The way it just like blurps, like he bites it and the juice just blurps.
It runs down his chin and he doesn't even care.
Oh, he gets like a roll or a piece of fried chicken or something and sops it up like Homer Simpson would.
Yeah, a piece of chicken. Yeah, he probably gross sumbitch.
Why should your singing not be fit for my halls? Nom, 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 nom.
We're not talking about Lord of the Rings.
Oh, that's all right. We already did. And,
yes.
I was wildly disappointed. All right.
Me too, kind of.
Then are you ready to get into this?
Let's get into
Unstoppable. From 2010. Not to be confused with the 2024 Unstoppable.
What? Yeah, what is that, a wrestling movie? Like a amateur wrestling? College wrestling?
Oh, it might be.
I don't know.
I didn't look into it. I just looked up Unstoppable and I was like, okay, getting some ratings. I went, wait a minute.
That's not Denzel.
That's not the right movie at all. It's not the right movie at all. But I fixed it.
Good.
So if any of this seems, any of my information seems incorrect, it might be the other Unstoppable.
Okay.
So released 2010, written by Mark Baumbach.
That's a cool name.
Baumbach.
Hell yeah.
Directed by Tony Scott.
Sounds like an alien race from Star Trek. Damn, Bombachs are back.
You know what? I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel
I like
that.
it.
Directed by Tony Scott. One writer, one director. They're not the same person.
And
no red flags present.
No. And Denzel.
Starring Denzel and Chris Pine.
Yeah.
And this is Chris Pine is pretty fresh off of, was it the first Star Trek
Yes.
he did?
Yes, it was.
So his star is still pretty much on the rise.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right. Whew. When I first looked this up, I was taken aback.
Okay.
Taken aback.
Taking a bomb back?
I was taken aback. And
That's so stupid.
hey, welcome to TicketPrice, Tevis. I don't know
Is this your first time here?
Welcome to the show, because obviously you're not aware of how dumb this is. The budget set me back, and then I got to watching the movie again, and no, it made a lot more sense once we get into it.
Okay.
Budget made with an estimated $100 million.
Damn.
This is a $100 million movie.
You know what? I could see that.
We're going to get there, but that's the thing. At the face of it, you're going, good Lord. Then you watch it. Yeah, I see it. With a worldwide gross of $167.8 million.
Okay.
So it made money.
Yeah, it was the 43rd highest grossing movie of that year.
What an odd statistic.
I know, right? Number one was Toy Story 3.
Oh my God. Toy Story 3 is the best prison movie ever made.
Obviously, you overlooked Lockup. How dare you? And Shawshank Redemption, are you kidding me?
Oh no, Shawshank's 2.
No.
Toy Story 3 is the best prison escape movie ever made. Buzz Lightyear gets assaulted by multiple male guards in the shower. They remove the back. There's insertion. It's against his will entirely.
Yeah, it kind of threw me off when that G.I. Joe was like, you sure do have a pretty mouth. Like, God damn, Disney. What are you doing?
Well, it was more the Pixar
That's
side.
true.
They're not afraid to go.
That's true. They're not afraid to go hard.
I'm glad you phrased it that way.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
But you know what? I never even thought of Toy Story 3 as a prison movie. But yeah, you're right.
Lotso is the warden.
Yeah, it's the second best prison movie ever made.
No, it's the first best prison movie ever made.
Let me pause the camera because I'm going to fight you.
No, we'd get more views. Bum fights.
I could put you through this table.
Hold on, I'm shaking it. Oh, our body weight alone, our combined body weight would go through this desk.
I'm surprised this computer hasn't made this thing just crumble.
Here, let me remove my bottle of water so
please.
this thing doesn't just implode. No, Toy Story. Okay. You, the people. Beneath the description of this episode are 2 links. One will take you to a merch store to get your favorite podcast merchandise. The second is a link for bingo cards. Make sure you get one picked out so you can play bingo along with the episode. And underneath all of that is a comment section. Put down if you think Toy Story 3 is or isn't the best prison movie ever made. And if you think it isn't, you're both wrong, but also write down what you think it is. And I'll mock your opinion. I might even do it live next episode.
Shawshank, for sure.
Andy Dufresne is such a wiener.
Yeah. But he turns and becomes a badass for what he does to the warden.
Badass?
In a sense.
In a certain, from a certain
point of
perspective,
view.
yeah, from a certain point of view, he becomes a badass.
We are not talking about Shawshank.
Good.
We're not talking about Toy Story 3.
Oh.
We're talking about Unstoppable.
That's right. Speaking of Unstoppable, one award win with 14 additional nominations, and one of those nominations being an Oscar nom for Best Sound Editing.
I was going to say Best Sound.
Yeah.
I could see that. What one?
I don't know that. I don't look that up.
Why not? Goddamn.
I don't care.
I do.
Unless it's the Razzies, but then I look it up. I look it up while we're recording because it's more fun. Ronald McDonald himself got worst.
Oh, Inception won. For Best Sound Editing and Sound Mixing that year. Okay.
You know, it's been a hot minute since I've seen Inception.
It's in the hat, so.
That's true. Would that be our first DiCaprio?
Yeah, and first Nolan, I think.
I'm not a big Leo guy.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's overrated.
I wasn't a big Leo fan in his early career, but later Leo.
You mean when he was an abysmal child actor?
Like The Beach.
The Quick and the Dead.
The Quick and the Dead.
What's Eating Gilbert? Actually, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, he does a really good job.
Yeah, I never cared for that movie.
No, well, it's Johnny Depp. No, I don't know. I just think Leo's overrated. I really do.
Okay.
And let's face it, the only reason he got an Oscar for the Revenant is because he got screwed the previous year on Gatsby. The Revenant is not an Oscar-worthy movie. And by no means should he have gotten Best Actor. Literally anyone. He had 4 lines, and half of them were, being mauled by a bear!
The bees! The bees!
Anyone could have done it. That was just we feel bad because we know he got screwed last year.
That's fair.
So we're going to give it to him this year. Like,
yeah, I never watched Gatsby, so I can't comment on his performance.
Book sucks too.
Never had no desire. If it doesn't say Stephen King on it, I'm like, meh.
You know, I can't argue that, but there's also so many other authors, books, things you would enjoy. I have offered to let you borrow Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park so many times.
No, thank you.
It's so good.
The other author I enjoy is Richard Bachman.
What about Baumbach?
Richard Bachman is Stephen King's pen name.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Read Jurassic Park, you boob.
No.
You dullard.
I will watch the novelization or read the novelization of Unstoppable.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yes, nothing says epic train action like reading it.
Train go fast.
Train go faster. We write children's books based on movies. We just dumb the synopsis down to like...
Dumb it way down.
We shouldn't word it that way because we have to dumb things down for us. We lower the reading level for like second graders.
Okay. Yeah.
Make them picture books. Train go. Train go fast. Train go too fast.
I like it. Let's do it.
Man mean to wife. Man pulls gun on wife's friend. We might cut that out.
Yeah, probably should.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Tevis, what is your history with 2010's Unstoppable?
I'd only watched this maybe 2 other times before the show. I remember enjoying it, but it was like, oh, okay. This is Denzel. It was good. Movie was good. But it was movie good.
Speaking of dumbing it down, yes, let's get Tevis's opinion on something.
But it was, I don't know, it never really stuck with me. It was kind of forgettable. And a friend of mine, she would tell me all the time, she's like, oh man, I love Unstoppable. It's one of my favorite movies. I'm like, the train movie? Like, really? That's your favorite movie? She's like, yeah, it's awesome. I'm like, okay. And yeah. And that was it. I was like, it's fine. It's fine. And then when he pulled it out of the hat, I was like, the train movie? Like, okay.
But Denzel,
yeah. I mean, I'd watch him type on the computer, and that'd be great.
Gee willikers, that would be great. That would be great. That would be just swell. So swell. Although you did just create my favorite new game of how can I, in the most basic way possible, dumb down people's favorite movies. Really? The train movie?
Yeah.
Oh, really? The dinosaur movie? Oh, the flash drive movie?
Nobody's favorite movie is the flash drive movie.
Oh, really? The doll from the 80s movie?
Chucky?
Trolls.
Could be Chucky. What's your history with Unstoppable?
I've seen it, I think, twice. Once for sure prior to watching it for the show. And like you, it was one of those, I remember enjoying it, but it wasn't anything I ever went out of my way to see or rewatch. I was just like, yeah, it was cool. It was good. But it never, like you said, it never stayed with me. It was one of those, almost like the Birdcage, where it's, for whatever reason, it was easy to just,
I see that, yeah.
for it to not like sink its teeth into my long-term memory, and I come back to it. So I was like, okay, cool. At least it's a movie I think I remember enjoying.
Yeah.
It's not Stallone or Van Damme.
And we know how much you enjoy Van Damme movies.
I am very comfortable with who I am as a person.
Street Fighter.
His ass is incredible.
Yeah.
You can bounce a quarter off of it.
Yeah. I paused Bloodsport in the exact right time.
Do you have a timestamp on that?
I have it's on my phone. It's my,
oh, it's your background.
Yeah, it's my background. Gets real weird when I answer it in public.
Dad, you're getting a phone call. Kid, no!
Put that down. Oh, God, I'm dying.
Well, we're all dying. Just a little bit every moment of the day as we hurtle towards our graves.
What?
What? Read a book. Now, history's out of the way. Tevis, are you ready?
Let's do it.
Trains!
Yeah.
This movie opens with trains!
That's good. It's a train movie.
You know, I too watched a train movie, but it didn't have a single locomotive in it.
Moving on. It says here she's going to get on a train. I'm waiting for it, and I don't see shit.
This is garbage. I've been waiting this whole time. Not a single locomotive.
They've been in this bedroom forever.
Did you ever watch The Office?
No.
At one point, there's a joke where Dwight goes to the movie theater to watch like Bear Attack, but he ended up going into like a Sandra Bullock movie. And he's like, I realized like 30 minutes in I had entered the wrong theater, but I didn't leave because I just thought, you know, I'm not expecting a bear attack, which is exactly when a bear attack would happen.
I don't think there was a bear attack in Miss Congeniality.
No, I don't think. Yeah. It would have been better had there been.
Yes.
She's the worst.
Or Blindside. I don't think there was a bear attack there either.
Sandra Bullock is the worst. Luckily, we're not talking about her, as the camera sweeps over to the sleepy Rust Belt town of Stanton, Pennsylvania.
Made up town.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Made up town.
Which is funny because The Office takes place in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. Now, I went, okay, I've never heard of Stanton. I've never been to Pennsylvania. It could be real. It could not, I don't know. But we're not there yet, but as we're watching, like, we get the pan over and I'm like, oh yeah, it's like this small town. The train goes through it. It's got that wicked S curve that looks cool for the train track. It looks like a Six Flags ride.
Oh, yeah.
And then later in the movie where they like pull it up on the map and they're like Stanton, Pennsylvania, population 781,000. I did a spit take. And my wife is just looking at me and I'm like, Stanton, Pennsylvania has almost 800. It has almost 1 million people. Where? No, it doesn't.
They all live right there by that curve.
It looks like when they do a flyover of like Brazil or some of these places where it's just the little cardboard and scrap wood houses stacked on each other. Yeah. And it's like you could reach through your window into your neighbor's house and like take food off their counter.
It looks like what, Kowloon City from Bloodsport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, well, there was an earthquake here today and 87 million people died. It only affected 3 blocks. You're just going, how are this many people?
That's why they were so worried about that train derailing into those fuel tanks, because it was going to destroy the entire population.
Oh, okay. Do I get...
Poor planning.
We have an elevated S-curve train track, which seems a little precarious on the best of days. And someone in this town put silos of explosive chemicals right next to the S-curve track.
Yeah.
Would they? I don't think they would.
I don't think they would either.
I don't think that's a real thing.
Those are CGI'd in. That curve is actually real.
Okay.
But the silos are CGI.
So wait, there actually is a town with that elevated S-curve.
Yes.
Why didn't we just use the real town? Why did we have to make up a small Pennsylvania town that has a population greater than Kansas City?
Well, they probably didn't want to use the real town because they didn't want people like us going, who the hell planned those silos right there in real town, Pennsylvania, you dumbasses?
They could have used real town, Pennsylvania, though, if the S-curve is real.
That's true. But they didn't.
Probably because real town, Pennsylvania has 7 people in it.
Probably.
And they needed 700,000 people. But whatever. Not whatever. Whatever. All right.
Whatever.
We meet Will.
Will Coulson.
Mr.
Chris Pine.
Yes. He's a younger guy with a strong local family name who needs a job.
Yes, he does.
So he has become a train conductor. And the Coulson family is really big in the train world in this area.
A little bit of nepotism, you think?
That is a major plot point.
Yes, it is.
He is a nepotism hire. And he goes around and he's looking for his trainer for today, Mr. Frank. Played by Denzel.
I like this introduction to everybody.
Actually, I have on my notes, random dude is a jerk for reasons.
Yeah, we learn why later, though. But
so Will's looking around. Hey, I'm looking for Frank. He finally, finds him, and there's Denzel sitting across at a table with a buddy. And he's like, yep, I'm Frank. Well, I'm Will. I'm going to be training under you today. Oh, that's great. And then the guy that Frank is with just decides to be an asshole for...
Yeah, he just keeps staring at him.
And he's like, I don't like working in a daycare. I like how Will's like, well, I don't like working in a retirement home.
Good job, Will. Hell yeah. Don't put up with that shit.
Oh, no, fire back. Absolutely.
Yeah, because Will's just trying to work and make money. And
he's just trying to do his job. And
provide for his family.
Salty old... I did... We plan on uploading this on the such of like YouTube and things, so I'm trying really hard not to just drop all the F words so you don't have a lot of editing to do.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm not over it yet. It's like trying to hold in a sneeze.
Bless you.
It hurts.
Bless
hurts
you.
us.
Bless you.
Fuck. All right. There's one.
Okay. Beep.
But that's all right. So Will and Frank meet up, and they're working together today. Then we cut to the train yard where Dewey. I've never actually met anyone named Dewey.
Me either. I imagine that all people named Dewey are like this guy. It's amazing how lazy this dude is.
Yeah. But also, I don't know. When I picture Dewey, the first thing or person that comes to my head is the youngest brother in Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh. I never watched Malcolm in the Middle.
It was okay.
Yeah.
It was fine.
I heard it was good. I just never have watched it.
Yeah, we enjoy it. We weren't like, oh my gosh, we got to catch it every week. But, we enjoyed it. And then childhood stardom wrecked Frankie Muniz for a while. Then good for him, he got better. And then better for him, he's become a really prominent race car driver.
Yeah, I heard that.
So good for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good for you, Mr. Muniz. See, we're not just complete assholes, but going back to Dewey, surprise, Ethan Suplee.
I like
Suplee?
this guy. Suplee, I think. Yeah. I like him a lot.
I like him a lot. He's good. And I got to joking with Anna because I was like, this is that era where he and Denzel just did every movie together. John Q, Remember the Titans, Unstoppable.
Yeah, and after I watched Unstoppable, I was like, man, I want to watch something else. Just throw it on, while I'm doing chores around the house. So I was watching Deepwater Horizon.
Oh, yeah.
He's in that.
Man, I've seen that.
Yeah,
Ethan Supplee's in Deepwater Horizon?
He plays one of the guys that works in the shack.
Okay.
And
wait, you chose to watch a Mark Wahlberg movie?
I don't know why. I was just like, I'll just throw this on. And
I don't look at the cover, and I just, in my mind, tell myself I'm watching a Kurt Russell movie.
There you go.
And it's way more palatable.
And I honestly, when I saw Ethan Suplee in it, I was like, I'm not watching a Mark Wahlberg movie. I'm watching an Ethan Suplee movie.
That's also better.
Yeah.
I like Ethan Suplee. He always does a great job.
I agree.
Underrated?
Underrated, absolutely.
Not like Ethan Hawke or Nathan Lane underrated, but like definitely underrated.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been hearing about this, and I don't know if it was a video he posted or he was a guest on a show maybe, where Ethan Suplee got in great shape.
Oh, yeah.
Like but like not for like his job, like he was like, because he got real big there for a while.
Just for his health.
He had to turn some things around for his health, which is an amazing story in of itself. But now they're like,
great.
But they're like, no, we wanted you as like the slob. So now we're not going to hire you for anything? How is he not? And also, he's huge. But not like he used to be. Like, he looks great.
Yeah, he does.
How is he not in him?
I don't understand it.
With his head and his face, tell me he's not, the Russian bad guy.
Okay.
He's got that distinct villainous Eastern European look.
Yeah. But I think he's been kind of thrown into that sloppy, lazy character for so long. Because he was, same way with Remember the Titans. He was kind of that.
Well, he wasn't lazy, and he was huge because he was the center lineman.
Yeah, he was just kind of
he was goofy,
the goofball.
Yeah.
And he was in Mallrats too. He was the guy who couldn't see the picture.
My Name is Earl.
Yeah, My Name is Earl. He was great in My Name is Earl.
He's great in everything.
Yeah.
I'm just saying though, the fact that he's not been blacklisted, but like he's just forgotten because he's not that anymore. And I'm like, that's such garbage.
That sucks.
Such garbage. He's a very talented actor.
He is.
Ethan, if you'd like to come on the show and discuss your favorite movie with us, we'd love to have you.
Hell yes.
Absolutely. Now, Dewey and his buddy Numbnuts.
I don't remember his name.
I was going to say, I'll give you $10 if you can remember his name.
TJ Miller. Give me $10.
He's not a pervert.
That's his name. That's the actor's name.
Wait, what?
TJ Miller.
TJ Miller.
TJ Miller.
Like Deadpool TJ Miller?
Absolutely.
No.
Yes. Swear to God.
No.
Yes.
I didn't recognize him. It's probably because he had shorter hair and no glasses.
He has shorter hair, no glasses, and he doesn't play
a TJ Miller.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just guy.
Numbnuts.
Yeah.
Well, Numbnuts and Dewey are getting yelled at by their boss because they need the track is supposed to be clear. Which you think you'd want to get on that shit right away if you work at a train yard where trains come through.
Yeah.
And now, Tevis, I'm going to dumb this down for you.
Train, go fast. Thank you.
It's a train track.
Yes.
You can go forward. You can go backward. That's it.
That's it.
So if something is on the track blocking the way, you can't just throw on your blinker, which you should do. God damn it. Use your blinker. I almost went to a tangent. But
I noticed that.
Stop myself. What's great now is when I really want to address the people, I can just deadpan to the camera and just stare right down the barrel and be like, use your blinker.
I got a lot of editing to do.
Oh, I feel sneezed.
God, I'm dying.
No, you can't just swerve out of the way, Tevis. You see, because it's a train track.
Yeah.
You think you as a crew member, you would be way more on the ball with, let's get this shit out of the way.
Well, he's lazy. They're lazy.
So they're moving a full train. Was it 30 cars? 31 maybe?
I think that was right. Yeah, it was 30 something.
Yeah, it's got 30 cars. And I'm like, okay, guys. Yeah, you should probably move the 30 car train out of the way.
I agree.
However, Dewey gets in, starts going, has to give it full power because of the load, which I get. You know what? We're good here. And he looks up ahead and he realizes that the track switch is set to the wrong way. So they're going to have to stop. And it takes forever for a train to stop.
Yeah, and it wouldn't stop it wouldn't stop in time. They'd have to back it up.
Right.
So that was one of the reasons why he's like, no, I'm not going to back it up. I'm not going to stop it. I'm just going to put it in idle, jump out, and throw the switch. And earlier, too, when TJ Miller character, Numbnuts, he's like, wait, the air brakes aren't attached. He's like, we'll get it later. We'll get it later. They're like, okay.
So here's the thing. Numbnuts noticed a problem. He didn't just like take it upon himself to fix it though.
No.
He was just like, oh, hey, by the way, to which then Dewey comes in. He's like, who's being equally lazy and bad at his job. And it's like, oh no, it's just whatever. We won't need it. It's fine.
Yeah. I think he was very much just trying to get the job done so they can go home as quick as possible.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure they're paid by the hour. I think they were just trying to get the job done so they can go back to sitting and getting paid to do nothing.
Yeah. So yeah, Dewey decides to jump out.
God. The train is moving. Dewey gets out of the cab and starts walking alongside it and kind of sort of hustles over to the switch.
A little jog.
To hit the switch. But after he gets out, he didn't lock the gear shift?
Yeah, the throttle.
The throttle. And so it bumps out of idle to like back down to forward. And it was at full power.
Yeah.
Which he also didn't turn the power level down because he figured he didn't need to. It's on idle.
Yeah, a little mistake. A little tiny mistake. Big mistake.
Colossal mistake.
Colossal mistake. And I like this part because it shows how difficult it was to get on the train, even at that speed, because he's trying to catch up to it and grab onto the rail and get back in it, but then he ends up falling and the train gets away from him.
Yeah.
Like a chipmunk.
He does kind of just hit the ground, just kind of like, oh, like kind of, he half rolls.
I kind of wish he would have scorpioned. You know, when you fall on your face and your legs come up over your head.
I've never heard it worded.
You never heard that?
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. I thought you were talking about Mortal Kombat. And I was like, what are you talking about?
No.
Also, I'm such a nerd that when I hear scorpion, my mind immediately goes to Mortal Kombat.
That's fair. That's fair.
Unless we're talking about the time my mother and I moved to Arizona.
Ugh.
And she was like, "Oh, by the way, I got you these slippers." And I said, "Oh, thanks, Mom, but I'm not really a slipper guy." And she goes, "Oh, no, honey, you don't understand. These are hard-soled slippers that you have to wear in case you're walking around the house and a tarantula or a scorpion has gotten inside." And I looked at Mom, I was like, "Where the hell are you moving us to that I have to worry about stepping on a scorpion in my own home?"
That's terrifying.
I only made it about 6 months in Arizona. Hated it. Beautiful to visit, but actually my mental health plummeted in Arizona. Hated it.
Yeah, you're worried about every step.
Every step, some arachnid is going to sting or bite or murder. There's no green. Everything is just rust colored. And I'm like, I don't understand. Everything's just like, "Oh, here's our yard." I'm going, "Where?" And they're like, "Oh, the rocks and our cacti." And I'm like, "That's not a yard. It's a gravel pit. You just went down to the local quarry with a wheelbarrow. This is not a yard."
Yeah, you don't want to fall out there. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no one's playing football in the yard with their friends or their kids. You know, got him. Bah, 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 bah.
Time to go to the ER.
"Oh, don't worry. It's hot, but it's a dry heat." Humidity does not matter when it's 135.
Yeah, no, that sounds terrible.
Speaking of terrible, so Dewey. Boom!
Nice segue.
Right back on track. Ah! See what I did there?
Oh,
Right back on track. Could you please not do bowel releasing sighs into the microphone? Okay. Maybe it's just me.
probably.
I cannot imagine myself having the balls to jump out of the cab of a train and then jump back onto it.
No.
Like, period.
No.
I'm not going to say names, but someone I know who I'm very close to, he and his friends used to play train chicken.
That sounds terrible. I don't like it.
And I'm just going, huh? And, you know, sometimes it would be a combination of trains coming and, you know, last one to jump out of the way wins. Or
Nobody wins.
Nobody wins. No. And sometimes it would get danger close. Have you heard of train chicken? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
And the stories of like, oh no, someone got clipped and the train just took their leg off.
I want to say now that, yeah, they have one leg now or no legs. No, thank you.
So with these stories in mind, no, I don't think I could leap on or off of a moving train.
Yeah, no, they would have to just go.
I'm like, well, I guess I'm just backing up now.
Yeah.
Because you've got time. That's another thing. You've got time.
Yeah, like I said, he's just being a lazy ass.
They're being a lazy ass. Oh, Dewey and Numbnuts. So, yep, Dewey cuts a lot of corners. Now, the train gets away from him, and it is reported back to the train yard that there is a coaster on the loose, being that they believe the train is in idle and it's just gotten away from them and is coasting down the track.
Yeah, I love that it takes them forever to actually tell their boss.
Yeah. Okay, you think Dewey and Numbnuts are going to be the first ones to report that they screwed up?
Yeah.
I'm surprised they reported it at all.
Yeah, and Connie was her name. Rosario Dawson. She was fantastic in this. I loved her. But I love when they're telling her, yeah, sorry, the train got away from me. She's like, what? What do you mean it got away from you? It's a train, not a chipmunk.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
What do you mean it got away from? Well, I had to jump out of the cab. You got out of a cab of a moving train? Well, I had to flip a switch. Bleh. And she's like, you're such an idiot.
Yeah, she tells him to go take the truck and go run it down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now they're having trouble, so she calls always reliable to be late.
Ned,
the lead welder. So we meet Ned, who is boring the poor waitress who's helping him to tears at a local diner. And I got Clarence Worley vibes.
a little bit. Ned is a better character, I think. I like Ned a lot. You really do.
Ned is an infinitely better character than Clarence.
Barely better.
Ned can have sex with women without standing on phone books because he's a full-size man.
He's such a goofball, but I love him.
Yeah. He's that guy who you work with, and actually, when I worked at the hospital, there was someone like that named Harold. I had a Ned. His name was Harold.
Okay.
And there are some times when you guys are just BSing, and he's hilarious. And then there are other times he's talking about something he's really passionate about, and you're dying on. You feel like Robin Williams listening to Gene Hackman explain the drive down to Florida. And you're just sitting there trying to be polite while your eyes are screaming for mercy.
Yeah, that's the way I feel that waitress was like.
Yeah, and you know what? This is probably a regular occurrence for her.
Oh, yeah. You know he stops her every morning.
I did not.
Hitting on her.
Yeah, I did not get the feeling like this was a first-time stop.
No.
All right, well, I'll see you later. Yep,
you will.
But
she's like, I gotta find a new job. you know, she's thinking that.
This asshole. So Connie calls Ned because she knows Ned is not in the train yard like he's supposed to be. That he is definitely just out, air quotes, in the field.
Yeah, what's he say when he answers the phone? He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm on my way. I'm almost there."
Yeah,
asshole.
And then, but she explains to him that there's a coaster and they need him to get to whatever mile marker of track to throw a switch so that the track will divert and the coasting train will be able to just slide to a stop on like a side track.
Yeah, get off the main line.
Get off the main line. And he's like, no problem. I don't know why, but it's literally every time in this movie. And the fact that it's the only way he drives through the whole movie makes me laugh more.
Oh, like a madman?
He just like, don't worry, Ned's on it. And then guns his truck and like fishtails out of the lot.
He's watched too much Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Okay.
I'm surprised he didn't come out of the diner and slide over the hood of his truck to get to the driver's side.
Okay, this came out in 2010. How do I put this? Ned is up to date with the theatrical and DVD releases of all the Fast and the Furious movies.
Sadly, yes.
It's all about precision. It doesn't matter if you're welding or piloting a spaceship or working on 1,000 horsepower something 10-second race car. It's all about the precision. But he just hauls ass out of the parking lot. And he gets the switch. And he's waiting. And he's waiting. And he's still waiting, and he's starting to get irritated.
Yes, he is.
And then down the track comes not the train, but Dewey and Numbnuts in a truck going down the railroad track.
Yes.
And he's like, what the hell? And they're like, what, did you not get here in time? He's like, I've been here for like 20 minutes. Where's the train? And that's when they realize, well, if the train hasn't been by, but they have, the train passed the stop a lot sooner than it should have. Uh-oh, the train is not a coasting train. it's under power.
Yeah, and they got a problem. And
no, they already had a problem.
they got a massive problem now.
I gotta take a massive problem. Excuse me.
I hate the way Numbnuts is acting towards Ned. Like,
you know, that
like
this
he's
is
the
also
one that,
this is not the first time.
Oh yeah, he's just being a dick, and it's like you guys are the ones that caused this problem.
Well, when they first pull up, isn't it like, how is it always you two assholes screwing up?
Absolutely.
And he's like, whatever, dickhead. Like,
yeah, he's a complete asshole to him. And I'm like, Ned's there to help, to fix your screw up. Show him maybe a little bit of kindness.
At least, okay, if you didn't want to show him kindness because you just really don't like him, at bare minimum, have enough self-awareness to have the shame to not be actively antagonistic.
Absolutely.
Is that a fair way to put it?
Yeah.
You know you've royally screwed up. Maybe don't come at him because this is your guys' fault.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're literally throwing the cell phone at each other. But see, luckily this is 2010, so it was a flip phone.
Oh yeah.
You know it was a Nokia.
Oh yeah, that thing's probably still working.
If they had, well, we'll get when we get there, but instead of the train derailers on the track, if they had just unfolded a bunch of Nokia cell phones,
movie would have been over.
Movie over.
Yep.
Stanton, Pennsylvania destroyed, but movie over. So all this is going on. We see Will and Frank in the train, and they have good rapport. It's a little awkward, tense. Yeah. Not awkward like, oh, Denzel Washington and Chris Pine are doing a bad job. We live in the real world, okay? In no universe, if you give into the theory of the multiverse, so there's an infinite number of dimensions to represent the infinite number of choices made, right? And so on and so forth.
Yeah.
0 of them have Denzel and Chris Pine giving a bad performance.
Oh, 100%.
There are certain things that you just go, no. Although
that's not possible.
There is a dimension out there that the only difference between the one we live in and it is that Lethal Weapon 3 is good. Think about that for a second.
There's only one dimension where Lethal Weapon 3 is good?
There's one dimension where that's the only difference.
Oh, I got you.
Is that Lethal Weapon 3 is a good movie. And yet, we're not fortunate enough to live there.
That's true. That is true.
We live here.
But at least we still have Denzel and Chris Pine.
That's right.
Yes.
But yeah, tense. It's awkward in that kind of tense. They're trying to be nice, but they're just trying to get through their day.
Yeah, Denzel says something earlier before they get on the train. He says, I only got one rule. If you're going to do something, do it right. If you don't know how to do it, you better ask.
Just ask.
Yeah. But that's a great rule.
But he's not aggressive about it.
No.
He's very just kind of, he's not being overly like, don't worry, buddy. You just ask. But he's just, hey, you don't know, just ask me.
Yeah. And
I wish I worked with more people like that.
Me too, honestly. But he is a very experienced person in the train world.
28
years.
28 years.
But he does this thing where he is kind of a know-it-all.
Yeah.
But he doesn't come off as a know-it-all.
Well, it's because he's not going out of his way to flaunt it, but if a situation comes up, he explains it with a level of exactness.
Yes. And I honestly don't know. In the hands of a different actor, he would come off as kind of a jerk.
Or a douche.
And unlikable.
Yeah.
But not Denzel, man. He pulls it off.
Well, he has this gift of being able to drop these lines as a matter of fact.
Yes.
He actually does a really good job at not putting any emphasis on it. He's got it before, he's got it after, but he can just fact drop without any emotional leaning.
Yeah, and I love their back and forth I could watch them two just talking, sitting in this train, just going up and down the track and just talking.
Yeah.
They're fantastic together.
Because we learned that Will, Chris Pine's character, he's got a rough relationship with his wife at the moment. And
yes.
he's like, and that's adding to Will's tension because he's constantly on the phone with his buddy and his brother and his lawyer, and trying to get the restraining order lifted so he can see his son. And he's just having what we would call a bad day, which would make anyone terse. How's that for word usage?
That's very nice.
Thank you.
Very nice. Both of them actually have outside things going on.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know about Denzel's yet.
No.
And we were slowly learning about Will's. And I call Denzel, and I call Chris Pine's character Will. So Frank is Denzel's character.
Well, okay, question.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? The question stands for both of them. We'll start with Denzel. Actor or movie star?
Both.
That's not an answer.
Legend.
That is true.
King.
That is also true.
Film god.
Well, relax. Film god. What does that even mean?
He's no Steven Seagal. Jeez.
He did an entire fight scene without ever leaving the roller chair.
I saw that. I don't know what movie that is, but so stupid.
Jesus.
Put the cake down, Steven.
No, at this point, eat more and just.
Okay. Anyway, you were going to say about Mr. Washington?
My wife and I recently watched the remake of Magnificent Seven.
Same.
That might be her favorite Western.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you shown her Tombstone?
Repeatedly.
Okay. Just wanna.
Well, how do I put this? She likes the team up and all the wild characters. Just the mishmash of misfit characters coming together for the greater cause. Yeah. So you've got the black warrant officer, right? Warrant deputy. And then you've got the racist Southern gambler, and you've got the Confederate sharpshooter, and you have the
House of a Man.
Well, no, I was talking about is he Korean?
Oh, I know his sidekick or whatever.
Yeah.
His handler.
Goodnight's handler.
Yeah.
With the knives. And then, Vincent D'Onofrio, who also is in my underrated list because he's fantastic.
I agree.
But yeah, it's like the big mountain man trapper, and then you've got the outlaw, the Mexican outlaw, and just the hodgepodge character. She loves that. She eats that stuff up.
I agree. I mean, that is a good movie.
And then she was like, was it like that in the original? I was like, in the original what? She's like, in the original Magnificent Seven, and you had like Denzel's character and you had that guy. And I went, oh no, because that movie came out in the 50s and it was Yul Brynner and young Charles Bronson and a bunch of white people in a black and white Western for white people.
I don't know if I've ever seen the original, honestly.
It's very white.
Yeah, I can see
as you would expect it to be.
That's fair.
But Denzel is the same character in Magnificent Seven as he is in Unstoppable, as he is in The Equalizer.
Kind of, yeah.
There are subtle nuance differences, but he kind of is just Denzel.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think if we're being fair, we have to put Denzel in the movie star category. He's just one of the very few movie stars who genuinely can act his nuts off.
Training Day.
Yeah. What? John Q. Remember any of them.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I'd say movie star, but
is he yes or no? Is he a movie star? Yes. But in this instance, he can actually act.
Yes, I agree.
He's king of the movie star mountain.
There we go. Yeah. He is maybe alone on that top of that mountain at the moment.
Probably.
Yeah.
Now, Chris Pine, movie star, right?
Oh, I don't know. I
I think movie star.
I'll have to cook on that one a little bit.
Okay.
Let me simmer on that.
Okay, because I'm the movies that are coming to my mind. You've got the Star Treks, obviously. You've got Unstoppable. You've got Dungeons and Dragons, which I really enjoyed.
I did too.
How we haven't gotten a sequel of that, I don't understand.
I don't either.
But as I think of Chris Pine movies, I'm just sitting here going, I like Chris Pine, and Chris Pine can act, and that's really nice. But you always see Chris Pine. You never. He never portrays a role in such a way that you forget who you're looking at.
That's fair.
So to me, that makes me think movie star. But again, if you've got like your Johnsons and your Stathams, right?
Yeah.
Here. And then you've got like your Chris Pines, and then you've got Denzel.
Raise it up a little bit more.
Oh, okay. Well, it's off the screen now. People, wait a minute, hold on. If I,
he's way up here.
he's right in here.
Yeah, you can barely see his feet.
You can barely see his. He's not God walking by. Of you must close your eyes until I have passed, and then you may glimpse my back as I walk away, or you'll die.
You watch how you speak about Denzel, please. Thank you.
Did you know that actually, with the naked eye gazing on Denzel Washington's full magnificence, your face will melt like Raiders of the Lost Ark?
That's what I was thinking.
Wait, do you have a thing for Denzel like I have a thing for Mel Gibson?
Absolutely.
Well, you know what? I'm glad we reached the bottom of this.
After I watched Unstoppable, I kind of went on a Denzel run for about 3 days.
Been there.
I watched Deja Vu.
Yeah.
I watched Magnificent Seven. Out of Time. I don't know why. I just like screw it.
I don't know why.
I mean, I don't know why I watched those movies.
Oh,
yeah. It's like,
But you were feeling Denzel.
I was.
I get it.
Yeah.
So they're tense, but they eventually get a call. Hey, you guys are on the main line. We're going to need you to get off the main line. And they were like, okay, why? Well, there may or may not be a train under power coming at you down the main line. And they went, oh dear.
Yeah, and they're trying to, because he had Chris Pine's character, Will, they had stopped, they'd loaded up their cars, but he had accidentally added five too many.
Correct. He didn't pull the right pin.
Correct.
So instead of only having a load of 20 cars like they're supposed to, they've got 25.
Yeah, so that causes a problem. They can't get off of the main line on the, what is it, the rip track or...
Correct.
And this movie does something, I don't know how they do it, but it works.
Filmmaking?
They just talk all this train jargon like we're supposed to know, but we know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the fuck a rip track is, but I know what it is, as they're talking about it. I'm like, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, get off this train, get on the rip track. What are you doing?
Because Mr. Bomback does such a good job writing this movie that we as the audience don't need to know the jargon, but we can piece it together through the context.
Yeah.
And actually, this is something really important with writing. It doesn't matter if you're doing a screenplay, a novel, whatever it is. Jargon is actually, there are classes about jargon.
Oh, really?
In writing. Now, you're not going to do a whole semester on jargon, but, if you're taking a writing class or you're reading a book, like, just trying to touch up on it, there will be a chapter or today's class is dedicated to jargon.
Okay, that's cool.
Because it's a double-edged sword. You need it to add that sense of familiarity and realness.
Oh, yeah, because these guys are going to talk their jargon because they're in the train business.
However, it's really easy to do too much.
I agree. I can see that.
You do too much, and no one knows what the hell you're talking about, and they can't follow it. And if they can't follow it, they're not going to pay attention. You do too little, it comes off almost robotic and fake.
Yeah.
There's a sweet spot. And actually, for my writers out there, especially if you are in the realm of writing something for fantasy, be very careful because it follows the same rules as jargon does. You have to be oh so careful when introducing your terminology. If you're reading a fantasy book and they hit you with all these fantastical names, places, things going on, and it's just a bunch of made-up fantasy words, you're going, I don't know what's going on. This sucks.
Yeah.
So you have to be really careful to just kind of spoon feed it as necessary.
Yeah, and I never once throughout the course of this movie, when they're doing their jargon, I never felt like I was lost.
Exactly, because
it's fantastic.
It's used because that's what it's called, / what they would call it, but it's built in the middle of enough context. Okay, because we know, don't worry, we're going to hit the switch for you. You're going to get on a rip track, and then you'll be able to stop and clear the main line. Perfect. In my mind, I'm going, okay, do I know what a rip track is? No, but in my head, I'm picturing, certain roads, it's like if it's a real steep downhill, for instance, and the road conditions can get icy or treacherous, and there's that like semi runoff point where if a semi is going too fast and loses control, they can merge off the road into that gravel stop.
Yeah.
That's what I'm picturing.
Yes.
And you know what? That's more or less right. For my understanding of the movie, that is right. And that's all you need to know. If you imagine a shoulder on the highway that you can just get off the highway, you're still correct. If anything you're imagining where you have your main line and now there's just another lane where you can escape the oncoming train, that's all you need to picture, and you're golden.
Yeah.
So this is actually, it's a clever bit of writing that a lot of people wouldn't necessarily think about because it's being done, when done in the right way, you don't think about it.
Yeah, and the writing in this, their banter back and forth, their tension back and forth, all of their lines are great. Like, I feel like I'm actually watching two people who have worked, one who's worked in the train business for 28 years and one who's a newbie, but they're real people. They don't feel like they're spitting out lines of dialogue.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. Perfect example, I think. And it's also, this goes into the acting, it goes into the directing, and it goes into the great writing. Frank asks Will about, hey, what's going on? Because they both have they're both under a lot of tension and pressure for different reasons that we learn throughout the movie. And Will's like, well, it's a long story. Well, we got a long trip. Well, it's XYZ, and that's just kind of it. Well, what about you? Well, were you married or have a wife? Well, short story. Once she passed, and I have 2 daughters, and they're working their way through college. And he mentions how both of his daughters are waitresses at Hooters.
Yeah.
That whole exchange is gold.
Oh, yeah.
It's solid gold. You're blushing. Go ahead. I'm used to it. Yeah, I know it. Yes. I'm used to it.
I love it. It's so real, and
it is.
And you with that, you start to really like both of these guys, and it's fantastic.
What does Chris Pine say? Yeah, I'm a fan.
Yes.
And Denzel's just laughing, like, go ahead, let me have it. I've heard it all.
Yes.
I'm used to it.
Yeah, they're just talking about life, and it's great.
it's in the grand scheme of things, it's a short scene going over really simple, mundane stuff. But when it's written well and it's directed right and it's acted beautifully, you now like and have sympathy for the two main characters. You've now more than ever set them up for people to care about and root for. And how many times have we talked about movies failing to do that?
Oh, all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. And they do it. It's quick. You don't have to have a long drawn out explanation of their lives. It's just those two together sharing a laugh and learning about their life, and it's great. I think it's fantastic.
And I think that's the secret. What you just said there is the secret to creating those sympathetic characters that your audience feels for. What were they doing? Nothing. What were they talking about? Nothing. Did it pertain to the movie? No.
No, not at all.
It was a short, simple, real conversation that you could identify with as an audience member watching this movie. You can identify with these guys. You can maybe see yourself in them, see a buddy in them, and you feel connected in that moment through nothing.
Yeah.
That's the secret. This isn't about trains. This isn't about Will replacing Frank or the divorce or the separation, whatever it is. It's got nothing to do with anything. It is a short, humorous, yet still emotional conversation, a real conversation.
Yeah, and it's more writers need to watch this movie.
This scene, at least.
Yeah, this scene.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, more writers and directors need to watch this movie for sympathetic characters and tension building.
Oh yeah,
because that's all this movie is, and I love it. But getting back to it, they being Will and Frank are given two options. Closer to them is the rip track where they can get off the main line. Farther ahead, closer to the oncoming train, it'll be a bit of a race, is an actual switch and a side track. So not like the emergency rip track, but like they can actually merge onto a full track and get off the main line. Frank says, "We're too big. We don't have enough time to stop. We will not fit on the rip track." Right. He knows if they go for the rip track, they're probably going to wreck. Now, Will is arguing, well, no, we need the rip track. That's the safer option. Which at the face of it, Will isn't wrong.
No.
And he's not being a douche. He's not being uppity. He's disagreeing / not full arguing, but a little arguing, but in a believable way for a decision that makes sense.
Yeah, because he's the conductor. He is in charge.
Correct.
Frank is just the driver.
/trainer.
Yeah. Yes. They never make it feel like, because they disagree all the time.
Yeah.
They have this back and forth, but they never once do I feel like Frank is talking down to Will, and I never feel like Will is trying to assert his leadership, his power as a conductor.
Right.
They're very cordial as far as how they handle the situation. They're never, this is the way it's got to be done. I'm the conductor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very done very well.
And it also helps. And again, you know what? Right, you're right. Writers should probably watch this movie. They're in a situation with two options. Will thinks they use the rip track. Frank thinks they risk it and get to the main line. Not the main line, but the main off track.
Yeah.
We as an audience member get both options. both seem like the right call. There's no glaringly, obviously stupid decision that some character is pushing for reasons we can't understand, because the thing they're pushing for is so dumb.
Oh yeah, there's none of that where it's like, we have to do this decision, even it's stupid, but it moves the plot forward.
And we're just going, why?
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? Why do you need to do that? What if you do literally anything else? Anything else?
Yeah.
So no, that helps a lot. Is now we as an audience member get both choices, so neither character looks like an idiot.
Yeah, even though it is Will's fault why they can't fit on the rip track.
True.
So
that is true. So they push ahead, and again, I love how pretty much all we see are Will and Frank's point of view of they're going down the track. And then it cuts to Connie at the rail yard watching the map, watching the big board, the train board.
Yeah.
And you see the two lines getting closer and closer and closer. What are we looking at? Nothing. Not really.
Oh, yeah, no.
And yet the movie has done such a great job building up the stakes. And so now they don't have to show that much. If you set your scene the right way, the tension is there and you just milk it. And that's all you're doing. Because now Frank and Will are going down the track and they're looking ahead and they don't see anything. So you think, okay, we're not looking at anything. But that's the magic. Because they know and we know at some point very, very soon, they're going to be looking at the nose of an oncoming train.
Yeah, and that's not what they want to see.
And once you see it, you're on a set collision course because we're on a train track.
Yeah.
So there's this, we're all waiting with bated breath for the inevitable. It's set up. It's going to happen. We just don't know when. So when we look ahead and we're looking at nothing, we're not processing that there's nothing really on screen. What are we waiting for? They've built the wait. The wait is what we're looking at. Oh, it's not there yet. Oh, God, it's not there yet. It's not there yet. But no, really think about that. If you build it right, giving your audience nothing helps your storytelling.
Oh, yeah, I see that. Yeah.
It's Alfred Hitchcock. He's got that famous quote. There is no fear. There's no scare in the bang. The fear or the scare comes in the tension leading up to the bang.
I like that.
Stab. Oh, that guy just stabbed that person. There it is. But if you milk it and you build it up and you see, Norman Bates come into the bathroom and what's-her-face is in the shower and you see his silhouette coming up, you see the knife come up and you're going, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then you see the curtain draw back, she screams, and then the knife comes down. The fear is in the buildup. The actual stabbing, as weird as it sounds, is the catharsis.
I like that.
Yeah. The tension has been built up, and then you need to end it so your audience can relax and you can get ready for the next buildup. That's where we're at right now. The tension's building, and there's nothing on screen. So they're going, when all of a sudden, there's the unmanned train. 777 is coming towards them as they are booking it as fast as they can to get to the switch line.
So we skipped a part where...
You're not talking about the kids, are you?
No.
Okay. Actually, I should mention the kids because Anna made a really grisly comment about it.
What?
You go ahead.
So Connie is talking to her boss, Mr. Galvin.
Yeah. He looked really familiar. Why?
He's been in everything. Like
He's one of those
He's
guys.
that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he has told Connie, well, we have a plan to stop this because their attempt to have Dewey and Numbnuts stop it failed. Because Numbnuts is hanging out of the side of this truck trying to jump onto this train, and it's going way too fast for him to jump onto this fucking thing. And then the door gets completely ripped off by the pole. But anyway, so the corporate guys step in, and they think they're going to save the day and fix it. And
things always just get so much better when corporate gets involved.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that the movie does this. It shows how kind of out of touch with everything they are. They're contemplating, we can't derail it, because Connie even says, hey, we're out in the middle of nowhere. We can derail it and save this whole problem, save lives. We're going to lose money, but they're like, oh, we can't do that. It's cost this amount of money, blah, blah, blah.
But the only thing that they're going to lose is the train.
Yes, but because it's pulling 8 cars of, what's the chemical?
Something phenol.
Phenol, yeah.
Molten, is it molten phenol?
I think you're right. Yes, that's what it is. And so you got all these guys in a boardroom. And did you notice that every time they're talking about what to do, not one time is it brought up about saving people?
No, it's about saving money.
Yeah, they're always talking about, well, how much money is this going to cost? What's the stock drop going to be? What's the percentage? And so they come up with this plan, Mr. Galvin does. They're going to put a train in front of it to slow it down.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to drop a guy from a helicopter onto it and then stop the train.
Yeah.
This fails miserably.
Yes.
The kid hanging from the rope gets smashed into the windshield.
Well, okay, it's more than that, though. So the guy driving the blocker engine,
Judd Stewart.
Was that the friend
Yep.
who was being a dick?
That was.
I saw that. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's him.
That was.
So he's in a train going slow. The 777 hits him and is now pushing his train,
yes,
his engine, and he's working the brakes trying to slow it down. They get a young railroad employee fresh from military service in Afghanistan.
Yes.
How do I put this? On one hand, it's cheap, but we were talking about how to build sympathetic characters and whatever. If that was the introduction we got to, say, Will, it would be really cheesy and ham-fisted and it wouldn't work. In this, we meet a less than minor character who gets no dialogue. He gets no lines.
Oh, he gets one.
He said,
"Oh." He goes, "Ow."
He goes, "Ah." So,
shit.
I have to sneeze. But in this, his character is introduced through a live news coverage of the event from a reporter who is spouting off facts the way a reporter would. So the line or the description of the character gets a pass. Because you're like, well, yeah, that's something they would talk about. And now it also makes sense. Well, how would a railroad employee have the experience or comfortability to dangle from a helicopter? And you're like, oh no, he was an Afghanistan Marine. He's probably done something.
Oh yeah.
He's come out of helicopters before.
Yeah.
So now the scene makes sense, but also, do you not feel for this kid? You're like, man, he just got home from Afghanistan.
Oh, yeah.
He's just trying to work the rail yard, and now he's got to do this? You feel bad for him.
Yeah,
and you hope, he's not going to be successful because it's a movie, but you hope he is.
Yeah.
And then when it goes wrong and he flies off the top of the train and then smashes through the window of another car. Oh. And it's really simple, but just the image of them aborting the mission and the helicopter pulling away, and you just see his limp body unconsciously dangling from the cord. How brutal is that?
Yeah. It's that whole thing was fantastic. I loved it.
The stunt looks amazing.
It does.
And amazing.
But then they try to get Judd's train off the track and lead the other one onto it, but he ends up 777 ends up smashing into him and derailing him.
He derails. Also,
and the train blows up and kills him.
They're going, Jed, bail. Anna and I look at each other. We go, bail? Where the hell is he going to go? Or not even that. How do you bail out of a train engine tipping sideways?
You just hold on and pray.
Pray the diesel gas doesn't
explode.
Yeah. Well, it did.
Yes, it did.
And Jed died.
Yes, he did.
Oof.
And this was Galvin's plan.
Yes, it was.
And he did not feel the need to tell Connie what the plan was going to be. She had to find out on the news.
Correct.
Yeah.
So now, to save money, Mr. Galvin and all his bosses and coworkers, this was his idea and they went with it. And now they watched his plan lead to at least one employee death live on the national news.
Yeah. And I love they're in the boardroom talking about what they're going to do. And they call, I'm assuming he was the president of the company.
On the golf course?
On the golf course.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. Just that scene with that guy talking on the phone and all of his little buddies in the background playing golf and having a good time.
You want to run him down with a golf cart.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You're just going to jackass him over with a golf cart.
Yeah, he's just like, well, what are we looking at? What's the loss? Oh, it'll be about this much dollars and this percentage. But Mr. Galvin has a plan. He goes, do it. Okay, we're going. And I'm like, screw that guy, man.
Yeah.
Screw that guy and all of his little friends.
You hate everyone in an office in this movie.
Absolutely.
Just like real life. You hate everyone who's sitting in the office. You just hate them.
And their ideas, 9 times out of 10, are this.
Yeah.
Are derailing a train and killing a guy and leaving some poor Marine.
Not only derailing a train, they derailed the wrong train.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, so poor the conductor's dead, and then you've got this young Marine. Is he dead? We don't know yet. We're just watching his lifeless body dangle from the helicopter harness, and it's brutal. At one point, there is a bit of tension because we know that there's a class field trip learning about trains.
Yes,
and they had to pull off onto a rip or whatever.
Barely making it.
And the kids are like, that's so good because the train cuts right by them, but they don't understand that none of this is planned and how dangerous. And they're like, it's so cool. Another train's going by and they're all party, whatever. And Anna looks at me and she goes, now, wait a minute. I said, oh, yeah. She goes, would it have been better to sacrifice that train to stop 777? And I said, good Lord. Jesus Christ. I said, hon, what are you talking about? She's like, well, think about it. You've got like 30 fourth graders on this train. Would that not be a better loss than, say, 1,000 people in one of these towns? And I'm going, whoa. Whoa. Let's just calm down, hun.
Yes.
We're not killing any. Look, Anakin, we're not killing any kids today. Okay.
Damn.
Mathematically, I get her point, and technically speaking, she's probably correct.
Is she interviewing for the president's job of the railroad company?
You know, she was gonna go meet with she was gonna be an assistant to a senator. What was his name?
Palpatine.
Palpatine. That's something to that effect. I think she had a job interview to be a senator's assistant, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And you know, she came home talking about something about, I guess, you know, a guy who was really good at saving people, but you know, he died in his sleep. I don't know. I didn't really get it, but it seemed really convoluted and I wasn't paying much attention. I'm just going, hon, I'm not playing the trolley game. I'm just trying to watch this movie, and I'm not really debating about the ethical quandaries of sacrificing 30 fourth graders.
That's dark.
I'm just sitting on the couch taking notes, and then she hits me with that. What am I supposed to do?
Call 911.
Yes, you know what? Hold that thought. Get in the car, and you can share that thought with this doctor I'm on the phone with.
Hang on, honey. I'm going to call. Hello, doctor. Can you make a house call, please? Yes, bring the jacket.
Gonna look like the guy's trying to restrain Michael Myers.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. I had just remembered. I was like, oh no, I got to bring that up.
Hell yes. Hell yes.
Next time you can see Anna, be like, so wait a minute. Do we burn the dinner, or do we save the dinner and we sacrifice the fourth grade class?
Yes. Yes.
These are the quandaries we grapple with every day. So
yeah, so they make it to the track.
Back to Will and Frank. Yes. Nose to nose, head to head, 777's coming, but they make it to the side track, the switch track. They're off the main line. So the movie does something else. Again, and it's in the writing of it. They're, in theory, we believe that they're safe. Everything that's been leading up to this point, if they make it there, they're safe. Do you know what I'm about to?
I think so.
Then they make it to the switch track. We're supposed to be able to exhale that sigh of relief. They made it. When all of a sudden there's a real short and sweet line that's given to Will and Frank from the rail yard. Do you remember what that is?
I'm not sure.
Remember, guys, you've got to get at least 10 cars on the track.
Yeah.
To not derail, they not only have to make it to the track, they have to get 10 cars deep from their own train to have the weight to withstand the collision with the other cars.
Yeah.
So now we can't even exhale because we're going, oh God, are they 10 cars in? What happens? Then 777 hits the remaining cars on the track and they
it's fantastic.
Not explode like a fireball, but they just erupt in a fountain of twisted metal and scrap.
It looks so cool.
It looks, well, Tevis, you are big on effects, special effects, computer effects, practical effects. You're the tech guy.
Yeah.
Why did this look so good?
Because it was real.
Because they drove a train through train cars.
Absolutely. And it's like earlier, too, when they hit that horse trailer.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
That was so cool. And
because they did it.
I love the shot. And I forgot to talk about this one earlier, but in the train or on the train tracks is the horse trailer. And you get that shot from inside and you can see out. You see kind of through the horses and you see the train coming. And I'm like, oh man, are they going to hit these horses? Mm-hmm. I kind of wanted that to happen.
So I'm watching this movie with my wife.
Yeah, at least I wasn't like, and please hit the train car with the children.
Well, no. So I'm watching this movie with my wife, and we get to the shot you're talking about, and then it cuts to the people trying to wrestle their horses out of the trailer. To which my wife goes, "I'd leave those horses." I'm going, "Hun, what are you talking about?" She's like, "That train's coming. I'm leaving those horses. We don't need them." I'm going, "Anna,
I'm not shocked.
stop killing things with trains. What are you doing?"
And
She just, if there was a way she could put a living being in front of the train that wasn't herself, she was all on board.
yeah, the train, when they try to use the train derailleur, she's like, you know what? I knew that wasn't going to work. But if you would have laid down 30 children on,
Hear me out.
yeah,
Round up the local orphanage. Tie him to the tracks like an old West villain.
perfect.
I'd leave those horses. Hun, we're not talking about them. Stop it.
Oh my God.
But you know what? There's a reason this movie cost $100 million, because they made a train movie with actual trains.
Yeah, where they actually derailed a train.
This is why the movie works, right?
Oh, absolutely.
The decision to spend the money and use real trains is why this worked.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of a behind the scenes thing on this. The train was real. They did like car extensions, CGI. So they made it added a lot more. And then the scene where they go around the curve, that's CGI'd.
And now there's a camera angle where you can tell.
Yeah.
But it's not egregious.
Yeah, but pretty much everything else is like in camera.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
And this goes back to, again, we've talked about with other episodes. 9 times out of 10, practical looks better. Especially in 2010.
Yes.
10 out of 10 times practical looks better in 2010.
I agree.
And that's how they did it. If this had been green screen tracks with CGI trains, it would have never got off the ground.
Oh, I agree.
This movie would have failed so hard.
I agree.
But they didn't. So the shots of destruction, the shots of tension as trains are bearing down on each other, well, they actually are. So it looks great.
Yeah.
So they, Will and Frank survive. Their train survives. Also, okay, at this point, I don't think the extra 5 cars that Will left on matters.
Not now.
Like, oh, 777 hitting the back half of their line. I really don't think the extra 5 cars mattered at that point. When 777 hits, I don't think it just hit those last 5 cars.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't think so either. I think it was a little closer than that. And you know what? I don't think anyone's going to talk about that.
No.
I don't think anyone's going to be too worried about, well, this rail yard's missing 5 cars.
There's pieces of them up the road.
But I don't think Will's going to have to worry about getting chewed out about that. I really don't.
No, I don't either.
Yes, manager, I did miscount the inventory and we're missing some boxes. But also, the fire wiped out all the other boxes we did get. So,
yeah, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? So Frank hatches a plan. Everything has failed. But if they throw their train in reverse, they can connect to 777 and then gun it the opposite direction to slow it down enough for someone to get in the cab of 777 and shut it off.
Yeah, because Frank has talked to dispatch and they say that they're evacuating one of the towns on the route to, was it Stanton?
On the route to Stanton.
Yeah.
It's like Arklow or
something like that.
They also told him that his friend had just died in a horrific explosion on national television.
Yeah. So they tell him that they're going to evacuate the town. He puts 2 and 2 together that they're going to derail the train. And when 777 goes by, he says he saw that the knuckle is left open so they can attach to the train.
Mm-hmm.
And him and Will get into this argument about, well, they're going to derail it, so why don't we just let them derail it? And Frank's like, it won't work.
It won't work.
It's too big. It's too fast. It's going to blow. It's just going to go right over that derailer. And Will's like, it's called a derailer. It's like, I don't care. It's not going to work. So that's when he makes a decision to do it. Will's like, I'm not going to do it. He's like, well, okay. Ask your wife how she feels about that. And Will's like, oh, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
He goes, okay. He's like, wait. He goes, if the derailer doesn't work, what are the odds that it gets to Stanton? And Frank's like, well, you saw it. What do you think? So they decide.
And Will immediately went, wait, but we put all those explosive chemicals next to the track.
Gasp.
Why did we? Do you think the town tried to relocate that shit after this incident?
Probably.
Let's just move them back a little.
Yeah, let's move it to a different location.
So now they're gunning in reverse.
Yes, they are.
And now it's a chase.
I really like this moment where Frank's on the radio with Connie.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't know that Galvin is on the call as well. And he says, those idiots in corporate or something to the effect of that. They think that this derailer is going to work, but it's not. And he's like, Connie's like, yeah, Mr. Galvin's on the call too.
You know what? At that point, F him. F him.
Yeah. But he is like,
I just said worse. I promise you that.
Oh, I know.
I'm driving this mother backwards to catch that mother. Because some stupid mother. Oh, it'd be way worse.
Yeah.
Frank really holds it together, if I'm being honest.
He does. But Galvin is very much.
He's better than me.
Yeah, he's very much against them doing what they're doing. And he tells them, you guys stop or you're fired. And that's when we learn that Frank has already been fired.
He got his 90-day notice 70 days ago.
Yeah,
Whatever, 70 days
70
ago.
some days ago. Forced early retirement, half benefits.
God.
Yeah. And they're doing this. They're forcing all these older guys to retire because they're making a lot more money than the new guys that they can bring in, like Will. And man, when you learn that, I'm like, what a shit move. I was already like, screw these guys in the corporate, but now I'm like, screw all of those guys in corporate.
Yeah.
Put them on the track and let the train run them over.
Actually, so, I had that short stint in the United States Postal Service.
Yeah.
But our local office is such a horrible place to work. I just like, nah, I'm done. I'm not putting up with any of this nonsense. I'm dying. I'm choking on my own hate. They were essentially doing the same thing.
Really?
They weren't giving people notices and half minute. They weren't doing that because especially with the unions, you can't. But the railroad has a union, so I don't know how much the company could do that.
Yeah.
If Frank really wanted to like fight it. But essentially, both because the post office is grossly understaffed as a company, but also because most of their mail carriers are able to retire, but choosing not to. So what I think they might even still be essentially in a mass hiring frenzy to get all these new people on, get them trained and ready. So then you've been doing this 25 years and for whatever reason you're electing to not retire or you want to stick around, or maybe you can't retire yet. You've just been doing this for a while, right? Well, there's so much mail. There's so much backup. Maybe it's the holiday season. We've got all this extra to deliver. They're going to give it to me, the new guy. So I get the overtime because my time and a half is way cheaper than your time and a half.
Yeah.
And they told us this. in training.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. That's shitty.
So, but the idea was like, so be ready, because once you're out of your training period, we're going to put you to work. So we hope you like making money, but it's going to be long, tough hours, which I was fine with all of that. It was the environment of the local post office. I went, how do I put this? To this day, I have never walked into a building of more hateful, miserable people, where you just walk in and you're like, every single one of you hate your life, hate yourselves, and hate everyone around you. You want to talk about just the most miserable sack of people. And I just went, nah. Plus, I got tired of, I wasn't there all that long, and I had to argue to receive proper credit on my paycheck every week.
Oh, God.
Despite the fact that there is an automated time clock to handle, payroll.
Yeah.
And it would get edited, it would get changed, stuff would get dropped off or not entered into the payroll side of the system on time.
That's always nice.
And I just went, I'm not fighting for my paycheck every week.
I don't blame you.
Nah. But no, so it's not just the rail company in this movie doing that. Like this, it's a very real issue.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. Screw that.
Late stage capitalism. Yes. Yeah, if you look at the timeline of the rise and fall of the Roman Empire, we are at the top. We're in the top portion of the downhill. Yes.
Okay. We're looking.
Nero hasn't set the city on fire yet, but we're getting there.
Okay.
So don't worry, things are going to be a lot worse for our children.
Yay! And I won't be able to retire. Anyway.
No.
You funny man.
Absolute. Well, no, they might retire you early with half benefits.
Yeah. God. So at this moment, I think we get Will and Frank. They become extremely close.
Mm-hmm.
When Frank is on the horn with Galvin.
Something in my eye.
And telling him about him getting forced retirement. Will is like, give me that thing. So he tells Galvin, and I love this. It's like, hey, this is your conductor, Will Coulson. Yeah, we're going to run this bitch down.
It's in my notes. We're going to run this bitch down.
And Galvin was like, did you not hear me? If you don't stop, you guys are fired. And he's like, well, that's a shame because I was really starting to like this job. And Denzel gives him a look like, what is he going to do? And then when he drops that, we're going to run this bitch down, you just get this little smile from him. And Frank's like, this guy. Yeah.
My guy.
Yeah. And I love it. It's so good. It's so good. Just what he says and the look that Frank gives him. It's like, yeah, these two,
they're in it.
They got a bond now.
So they run that bitch down. And they work on getting it coupled, but the latch didn't go down. So Will goes outside the cab to help guide Frank to the connection and also make sure it gets connected.
Yes.
Oh, hell no.
This part where he slams into that car and the grain explodes.
The seal on the grain car gives, and now they're just being showered in
corn or
grain
whatever.
Yeah.
So in the behind the scenes thing I watched, do you know what that stuff was?
No.
It was the Sugar Puffs, the cereal.
Oh, okay.
And mashed potato flakes, like the potato flakes that you make. Yeah. So it wasn't something that was super heavy and hitting them. And
well, because Anna goes, wouldn't that cut them to pieces?
Oh, it would hurt like a sumbitch.
Like if you were Will and you were out there and it goes, that grain would tear you up.
Oh, it would. Yeah, it'd be painful as hell.
But I mean, even think just cut.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought that was cool. And it looks really great.
It looks great. They even do close-ups and you get good shots of it. You just go, yeah.
And then Frank tells him, you do what you can do, get down there, try to latch it, try to drop the pin, but be careful.
Be careful.
Be careful.
Like he's not
thanks, Dad.
Like he's not standing in between two 70-mile-an-hour going trains trying to connect them.
Yeah.
Be careful, though.
Yeah, be careful.
If I was being careful, my ass would still be in the cab, Frank.
Yeah, so then what it latches, but
but the locking pin doesn't connect.
Yeah.
It doesn't go down and secure it. So he's got to Will has to stomp on it, to which then the cars move and flex and he falls.
Yeah, because he gets his foot smashed.
Yeah.
And then he falls and we get this great shot of him hanging from the helicopter shot. It looks great.
It looks great.
Yeah, and Chris Pine did all of his own stunts in this movie.
Did he? That was actually Chris Pine
actually him
lying on the connector in between two train cars.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. When I saw that, I was like, holy shit. Give that man a raise. Give him the starring role in Star Trek. Oh, never mind. Okay.
They already did.
Damn it.
And honestly, he got to be the lead of the 3 best Star Wars movie or Star Trek movies ever made.
Yeah, I agree.
Because those movies are bad.
They're boring.
And bad.
Yeah, I agree.
But they saved the whales. There were 7 of those things.
That's the best one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Not Khan?
No, I don't think so.
I told you the story about Khan, didn't I?
No.
We were watching the Chris Pine one in theaters. And I would just say, now get ready because so-and-so is going to do this. And then they would do it or say it or whatever. And she just looked at me. And then something else would come up. And eventually it got towards the end of the movie because I was like, all right, spoilers, everyone, for a movie that came out 15 years ago. And I was like, Kirk's going to go into the reactor and get killed from the radiation. What? Oh, yeah, just wait.
You're spoiling the movie for her as you're watching it?
She deserved it. So then it happened, and I was like, now it's building up. Now, I wouldn't do it way in advance, it was building there, and I was just like, now this is going to happen. And I was like, now why? Spock's going to get super angry and shout Khan. And then Spock gets super angry and shouts Khan. And she just looked. So throughout the movie, she's just looking at me as I'm calling this stuff. And she goes, have you seen this? And I went, yeah, the original.
Yes.
And she's like, they kept that much of it? And I said, apparently.
Yeah.
Although in the original,
it's flipped.
Yeah.
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 Spock's the one
Kirk
that goes
and Spock, their roles are reversed. But yeah.
Yeah.
I got a big kick out of that. Have you seen this? She was so mad. Have you seen this? Ask me why I didn't mind the spoilers.
Why?
Because my wife. Sorry, hun. Well, this is a you heavy episode. She is really bad about committing one of the cardinal sins of movie watching.
Okay.
Tevis, we're going to watch a movie. Have you seen this movie before? No. Have I seen this movie before? No. We could be at home. We could be at a friend's house. We could be in the theater. It doesn't matter. But we both know that neither of us have seen this new movie. So she will proceed to ask me questions about this movie as if I had anything to do with it. And I have to repeatedly tell her, I don't know. Watch the movie. Maybe they'll explain it. I don't know. Stop asking me. Well, why do you think he would do that? I don't know. Well, what's going to happen? I don't know.
My favorite thing is when you're sitting at home and you're both on the couch and you've never watched a movie before and you're about halfway through the movie and you notice this is what's happening the whole time.
Yep. Yep.
And then something happens on screen, and they're like, "What's going on? What is that?" I don't know. I thought you were reading the synopsis on your phone. Like, if you want to watch the movie will tell you everything you need to know.
Well, that's not necessarily true.
But you just have to watch it.
But the movie never told me why she turned into a fucking flash drive.
Oh, God.
Or totally new character walks on screen. Who's that? Handsome man in suit. I don't know.
Oh, God. That's funny.
So no, I had no qualm whatsoever spoiling that movie for her.
That's fantastic.
Why didn't they sacrifice that elementary school? I don't know. Maybe because they have a heart.
Maybe they will later.
That's right. We're only 25 minutes in. But yeah, so Will gets hurt, his foot gets caught, but they make the connection, and now they're working on braking and accelerating and just trying to slow this thing down. And it's working.
Yeah, and the whole time, the news footage is covering all of this. So Will's wife is watching it at home.
Yep.
Frank's daughters are watching it at Hooters.
From work.
From work.
From work? You don't have to word it. They're watching it from Hooters.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. They're watching it from
work.
Their job.
Yes.
At Hooters.
Such a dick.
But the movie does another thing, too, and I forgot to bring this up earlier when we had the train derailment. Connie has a guy in the office who is there to teach the children about trains and train safety and whatever.
He's an investigator with
Scott Werner is his name. And he's the expert.
Yeah, but he's like the Federal Railroad. You know, that's honestly
Federal Railroad Administration Inspector Scott Werner is his name.
His name could just be Exposition.
Scott Werner.
Scott Werner.
No, you're not wrong.
Don't worry. I drop Exposition. I got a badge. I'm a limo driver.
Oh shit, I totally forgot too. We get a shot of Ned pulling up like a son of a bitch in his truck, and there's all these cop cars around, and he gets out and he's like, "Hey, I need somebody. I need a police escort." And he hands his badge to that one guy, and he goes,
"It says welder."
He goes, "Lead welder."
Look, talk to my supervisor Connie at the rail yard.
You know Connie?
You're with Connie? Boom. And now they're all hauling ass.
But
Ned's getting it done. Say what you will. He's competent and he cares.
He does.
Which is more than two things more we can say about him than Dewey and Numbnuts.
Absolutely. But yeah, Scott Werner is there just for exposition.
Yeah.
And to explain
what molten phenol is.
What molten phenol is and different aspects of the train and what you can do with it and you can't do with it. But it never feels like exposition to me.
It kind of feels like exposition to me.
I never. It feels like an expert is just explaining things.
Yeah,
but it never once felt to me like, oh, I'm just being spoon fed this information.
He never goes on long, wordy mouth vomit. Kind of dumb. You know, it's always something quick.
Yeah.
Like, oh god, do you know what molten phenol is? Like, yeah, it's chemical. They use it in glue. It's really toxic and really combustible. Period. Done.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Exposition. Moving on. Now we all know what we need to know.
Yep. And he makes an appearance every once in a while when we need him.
Honestly, if you were to make this movie in 2025, I would probably get rid of his character.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Connie could just Google search it.
That's true.
Just like molten. What? Oh God! You know.
That is true.
And then be like, Frank, it's Connie. The stuff that the 777's hauling. Yeah. There we go. And the thing is, all we need to see is her search it. We don't need to see what she found. we'll learn it when Frank learns it, and when Frank and Will learn it. But in the modern era, just
and I mean, she could just use her phone too, and
exactly.
If it was done now, but
hell, while Frank and Connie are talking, Will could be doing it in the background on his phone, searching it, and be like, "Oh, he just find, oh shit, Frank, yeah, hold on, Connie, yeah, Will, it's highly combustible." Could you not?
Yeah.
You could replace his character with. You could replace the character of Scott Warner. Exposition investigator with a character doing a Google search.
That's true.
Now, in this movie, he's fine. But that is a kind of character that I honestly don't think we need in a modern film.
I'd agree with that now.
I don't think you should have a character whose sole purpose is to fill in gaps. Come up with more creative ways for your characters to learn the shit.
That's fair. But he works in this.
He works. It's fine. It's fine. Totally fine. Absolutely fine.
Shelley Duvall
levels of fine.
Okay.
I mean, if I'm being honest, his acting is probably better than Shelley Duvall's in The Shining.
That's fair.
Just the character itself is, I could take it, I could leave it. So they're trying to slow it down. However, 777 is so big and heavy and is moving so quick that they burn the brakes out of Will and Frank burn the brakes out of their engine.
Yes.
And then, which looks great because we just see a flamethrower of fire shoot out from under their train. It looks cool. Amazing.
Yeah. I loved when 777 goes over that derailleur and just blows it to hell. And it just, the shrapnel is hitting the police cars and destroying them.
Okay, someone got hurt, right?
Oh, had to have.
Like, Deputy Poindexter, Svenhausen is just laying there with like 1.5 foot of steel sticking out of his stomach, right?
Absolutely.
Guys,
got a problem here.
Guys.
Yeah.
It's getting real dark.
Looks like Logan at the end of Logan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, spoilers.
You know what's funny is I think more people saw Deadpool and Wolverine than saw Logan, which means more people know how Logan ended than have actually seen Logan.
Probably. Yeah, I know I took the kid to see Deadpool and Wolverine, and she had never watched Logan.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh well, you'll be fine.
Oh, darn.
Yeah. You didn't like Logan?
It's fine.
Oh, it's a good movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm just saying, I think you're like spoilers. I'm like, actually, I think Deadpool and Wolverine spoiled Logan more than we are.
Yeah. So
now with the brakes gone, they can't stop it. They're trying to slow it down. We get to the S curve. And it's a 15 mile an hour max speed limit on the curve. With, again, this might as well have been a Mortal Kombat stage. Because, like, if you go off the tracks on one side, it's a bunch of highly explosive chemicals. And if you go off the tracks on the other side, it was, the orphanage and the children's hospital and all of those really small clumped together house structures. So if Raiden had shown up and done the button command for the stage fatality and just uppercuts the train off the track,
he would have given a friendship.
Oh, see, that's what they needed.
Yeah.
Was
babality.
Oh, and it turned into a little train.
Yeah.
Would have, that would have solved if it turned into like a one of those little trains that go around your Christmas tree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Boom.
Yeah.
Saved it.
Where the hell were you, Raiden? Could have saved it.
Protector of Earthwell, my nuts. Thanks for nothing, you hat wearing douche.
Oh shit. Yeah, so their brakes are not working very well.
150 channel followers, and we'll make Tevis watch Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Gross.
And we'll do it. We'll do a watch along episode. Let's make it happen. I want to torture him so badly.
Gross.
Have you seen it?
I've seen enough.
No, have you sat down and watched Mortal Kombat Annihilation?
Not the whole thing.
You can't say that thing.
I've seen the end. It's gross.
What? It does get rather phallic.
Gross.
There's even a vein at one point.
Probably. Yeah, so it's not working. The train's not slowing down.
Raiden is doing dick all or nothing.
Fucking not doing shit.
Hanging out with Dewey and Numbnuts.
So Will gets the idea, well, what if we use the brakes on the cars?
Yes.
And he's like, okay, I'll go do it. And Frank's like, no, you set your damn foot's all bloody and nasty.
He had to duct tape his boot the wound closed. Yeah.
So Frank's like, I'll go out and I'll go do it. And I love, he tells Will to set in his spot. Mm-hmm. And Will's about to say something. And Frank's like, no, don't get sentimental on me now. He goes, it makes me think I'm going to die.
What a great line.
What a great line. So yeah, Frank is up turning these cranks on these brakes, and then he's climbing on top of the rail cars and running and jumping. Totally cool. Holy shit. And again, I watched another behind the scenes thing on this. That was an actual dude running along top of these cars, jumping back over the gaps. And part of it was actually Denzel doing it.
He did do some of it.
He did do some of that.
Here's the thing. In my mind, if Denzel did none of it, if Chris Pine didn't do any of his, I'm going, yeah, obviously. And then it's like, well, no, Chris Pine did his. Holy shit. Well, yeah, Denzel did his. Oh my God. He didn't do all of it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Did he make a leap from one moving train car to another moving train car?
Yeah, he was on a cable, obviously.
Well, yeah.
But still, it's... And in the documentary I was watching, or the behind the scenes thing, Tony Scott was talking about it. And he says, okay, Denzel has a massive fear of heights.
Really?
Yeah. And he's like, so I'm talking to Denzel about what we're going to do. And Denzel's like, well, what if I'm the one that goes out and latches the train cars together, and Chris Pine's character is the one that goes and does the train, runs along the top of the train. Tony Scott's like, well, I mean, we could do that, but at the end, Will has to jump from a moving car onto this train. And Denzel's like, okay, we'll just leave it. We'll just leave it the way it is.
He tried to get out of it.
He tried to get out of it. But then he did it because he said in an interview, I guess, the reason why he did it was because he didn't want to be promoting the movie. And in interviews, people asking him why he didn't do it. So he's like, I'll just do it. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it.
That is I hate this, but I just got to suck it up and do it.
Absolutely.
Because I don't want to
be a pussy.
We're getting to that point. Segue.
Yes.
So Frank is leaping from, train car to train car. He's turning the car's individual brakes on, and it works enough for the train to survive the elevated S-curve, although it does pop up on two wheels at one point, which at face value is cool, and it looks fine.
Yeah.
It looks good enough.
Yeah.
It's one of those you can tell it's CG. Obviously, it's CG. No one's going to pop a train onto two wheels. I don't even know logistically how you would pop a train up onto two wheels.
Just take it 50 miles an hour around a 15-mile-an-hour curve.
You're not wrong.
I mean, come on, Chris Pine, do it. Jeez,
what a bitch. No, see, okay, let me rephrase my question. How do you pop a train up onto two wheels and then also save it?
CGI.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you're right. You and I could pop a train onto two wheels. We'll die like Jed in the explosion, but we could do it.
Yeah, they did it once. I don't know why they couldn't do it again.
When you're right, you're right. You know what? I tip my cap. But they save it. They get through the Stanton S-curve and people cheer. And that's when Ned shows up.
Yeah, and I like that because in my mind, And I know probably a lot of other people's mind. They're like, well, why didn't you just run across the top of the train to get to the car, the lead car? Well, they show he's doing this, but then he gets to this one car that has pipes on it, and it's a big gap.
And not only that, what's he going to jump onto?
Yeah.
There's no, because he gets to a flatbed train car, not a full train car.
Yes.
What the hell is he going to jump onto?
Yeah. So I like that it answers that question. It puts that to rest.
Yeah. So now you're going, oh, well, obviously he can't. And it leads us to the next moment. You're not sitting here going,
yeah, why didn't they just do this? Why didn't they just do that?
And that goes into the pre-filming work of ironing out what the scene looks like, what's going to happen, and why is it going to happen? Why do we need Ned to show up in the final hour to help save the day? Why does injured Chris Pine have to jump from the train to the truck and then from the truck back to the train? How do we lead this? Well, we have to shut Frank down.
Yes.
We don't want to hurt him or anything, obviously, but we need to make it to where he cannot continue forward.
And they do it.
It's a bunch of cement pipes.
And it makes sense.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Those big, round, like culvert pipes.
Yeah. Yeah, he jumps onto that, and he's going to slide off and die.
Exactly.
Yeah, so no. But yeah, you're right. Ned shows up.
He jump. Do it, you pussy.
Do it, pussy. I love it. I love Ned so much. He's so great.
And he has no idea if Will is injured at all. He's just like, do it. Do it, pussy.
And I'm sorry. What
a believable moment, too. Just like, do it.
They have a ridiculous moment here where one of the cop cars just goes rolling end over end.
He can't keep up with Ned's fishtailing.
Yeah. And when I saw that, I was like, that's so ridiculous. But it's cool.
I turned in, I was like, that one asshole who can't drive his car.
I loved it, though. It was so great.
I mean, why not? We need one car to
why not? Yeah. This is a action movie. Let's have some freaking action.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're at the moment.
And it works.
It did.
And so Will makes the jump from the train to the truck, not being a pussy.
Still being injured, though.
Yeah. And then Ned just hauls ass, and Frank's on top of the truck or the train. Go, go, go.
Because they go to get Frank.
Yes.
And then Frank tells them, no, get to the front of the train. That's all that matters.
And we get the newscaster saying, they're running out of parallel road. So that's building up the tension too. And they get to the front. I love this movie does a great thing where the camera is always moving.
Sometimes gets a little too shaky handheld.
There's a few times where they do it, but it does it at the climax. So it just adds to that, the craziness and the action. But when Will makes that jump and he doesn't quite make it, so he's kind of hanging off of it, it's like all sound stops.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, oh shit, is he going to be able to pull himself up? And then he does. And everybody's cheering. Frank's on top of the train just going crazy. It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Well, and also, you were talking about like building up, they're running at a parallel road. What can they do? But then also, Will's getting ready to jump, but Ned, and easily to do, mistimes his speed with the train.
Yes.
So then he's got to re-catch up, and
yeah.
And you're just going, oh God.
Yeah. Just building and building and building.
So Will makes the jump. He's now holding on to the ladder, but his feet are just dangling, and you're going, oh God.
Yeah.
But he pulls himself up, and it's just cheers and screaming and celebration.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I love a movie when there's a room full of people that are watching the action and helping out, and then they just cheer. It's like
Apollo 13.
Apollo 13. Absolutely. Independence Day. Yeah, absolutely.
Or Armageddon.
That too.
Everyone just does the stone cold.
Yeah, it was a little over the top when Connie took both those beers and smashed them together.
Nope. It
and
was
the glass breaking.
Nope. Heat of the moment. No one else could pull it off except her.
And she gave Scott Werner the stunner.
Well, it's only because Galvin wasn't in the room.
That's true. That's true.
And there we go. And then we get the award ceremony.
Fantastic.
And Ned is boring everyone to death at the podium.
Were you ever worried?
No.
No.
I was born for this. It's all about precision. He's doing his goddamn waitress speech.
Absolutely.
Although, did you notice? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
When they're like, well, what do you think went wrong to cause this incident? Someone from corporate steps in immediately. Well, that's all Ned's time. Thank you for asking your question. Get the hell out of here, Ned. Because you know what? I bet Ned's a loose cannon with a hot mic.
Oh, yeah. He'd be like, well, there's these two assholes over here.
They're actually right over here.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Yeah,
you.
Yeah, come on over. Come on over.
And then he would huck something at him, too,
Absolutely. I bet. But you get this great moment with Will and Frank talking. And Frank's like, corporate, I got to just go off the phone with corporate a little bit ago. And they offered me a better position and whatever, my job back. And Will's like, well, what about me? They're going to give me another position. And then they meet Connie for the first time. And I love this. I love this so much. Connie's like, you know what? I'm trying to figure out which one of you two I'm going to kiss first. And Frank's just like,
Denzel without missing a beat.
Dead stop. Me? Yes. And they all laugh and have a good. And I felt my cheeks hurt from just smiling so big at this moment. It's so great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we learn, obviously based on a true story. So Connie is promoted to Mr. Galvin's job.
Yep.
Frank not only got his job back, but he got promoted and then is now happily retired with full benefits.
Yep.
And that Will and his wife are back together, happy, and are expecting their second child. And that Dewey...
I hated this.
I felt weird. It felt...
insulting?
Just... the way they went about it. Okay, so what does it say? Dewey is currently
working in the fast food industry.
Yeah, working in the fast food. And I just went, you could have just went, and Dewey is no longer employed with, the train, and that would have been fine. But there was just something real icky.
Yeah, it felt like it's kind of an insult to people that work in the fast food industry.
That's how I took it too. Yeah. I'm like, wait, why are we kicking the fast food people?
Yeah, that's hard friggin' work.
And you want to talk about a thankless job.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm just like, why are we kicking them?
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine kicking Dewey, but like...
yeah. How many videos do you see of people, the customers, yelling at fast food people, throwing shit at fast food people?
I don't look at those. I don't want it to spoil my algorithm. You see, Tevis, I'm really worried about my algorithm.
Shut your ass.
Don't ruin your algorithm, people.
Oh, we're on video now, so I can do this and they'll see it.
Yeah, you got to blur it out.
That's all right, I will.
Think about all the hand mode, the gesture. Hold on, speaking of blurring things out, all the things we can do now, like when Sarah joins us and, she's trying to work this mic, but then there's also... and so now she's fighting two microphones. Blur that out, asshole.
I'm just going to put our logo right over your face.
We need to create a still image of us holding torn cables, oopsie, and technical difficulties. Please wait.
Yeah, you can do that.
Please stand by. We're experiencing technical difficulties.
Oh my God.
So then I've got this mic and I'm just just fighting with it, trying to get it in the right.
I don't know if this is going to make it to YouTube. Might have to put it on Pornhub. Jesus.
Yeah, but I've already got a profile on it. We'll just work it in.
Yeah, we'll work it in.
Oh. I heard it when I said it. And then you repeated it. That didn't help.
No, it didn't.
But no, I didn't like that part.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Just and Dewey is no longer employed at, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, why kick the fast food people? Our brothers and sisters in the fast food industry. Love you guys.
Hell yeah. So you said that this was based on a true story, and it was.
Yeah.
There was a scene in the movie that I thought was kind of ridiculous, but it was the police shooting at the train.
Oh, I forgot about
trying to hit the switch. I'm like, that's stupid.
It's a really tiny switch next to a very similar looking fuel pump.
Yeah. But so I was like, that's stupid as hell. Why would they do that? They did that.
Oh.
In real life. That's one of the things they tried to do to stop the train.
Desperate times, I guess.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay, well, never mind.
We're going to hit the emergency stop button with a bullet.
Yep.
It doesn't help that the emergency stop button is right next to the fuel tank.
It's all right.
Ignore that. Totally fine.
Fire.
And fire.
Oh, shit. And the fire. God damn.
Is there a cut of the movie where someone hits the fuel tank and then it just explodes and kills all the cops on both sides?
Yeah, it's a really short movie.
Okay. Yeah, probably is. All right, I think we're there. Are we there?
We're there.
All right. Ratings. IMDb gives Unstoppable a 6.8.
Too low.
Rotten Tomatoes giving it an 87%.
There we go.
You know what? 87, I feel that. I don't think that is an inaccurate score to give.
I do not either.
6.8.
IMDb
It has
sucks.
Denzel Washington, Chris Pine, and Rosario Dawson. Their performances alone put this into the low 8s.
Oh, absolutely.
And then the rest of the movie gets us to 8.7, 8, 9.
I 100% agree with you.
90? I don't know.
It's hitting the bottom of 90. Like it's
tickling.
It's tickling the undercarriage of
90.
Of 90.
We could do so many things now.
I don't know if I like this video shit.
We promised the people video in 2025, and it's just going to get better from here. All right. With a combined rating of 155 out of a possible 200. You know, had IMDb not been just so completely wrong, this might have cracked top 10 overall rated movies we've done. Had IMDb been correct.
Yeah. IMDb sucks.
But it doesn't. All right. Reviews.
I mean, I'm anxious to hear what you got.
Do you want LA Times or Ebert?
LA Times.
LA Times. Also, everyone, my notebook. We've talked about it for so long. I do notebook. All my notes, because I'm an old man. Unstoppable.
My notes.
You've accidentally deleted before.
We don't talk about that.
LA Times. Shut up. Unstoppable is as good as its name. And then another quote I pulled from it. And shows why old school professionalism never goes out of style. This particular review obviously speaks very highly of this movie, but also speaks very highly of the way the movie is made. Practical effects, straightforward directing, great writing, great acting. They let the movie deliver the thrills like an old school movie. They didn't try to overly complicate things. And it also talked a lot about what this reviewer felt to be the underrated Pelham 123. How that movie doesn't get enough credit because it is old school filmmaking without the bells and whistles. It's just a good movie built on the merits of being a good movie. And you know what? I like taking a Pelham 123.
It's been a hot minute since I watched it.
Denzel.
I know. I need to watch it.
And you know what? John Travolta does a good job.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan.
Honestly, I think Travolta there aren't many that could replace him, but he could probably get replaced with somebody with a voice that doesn't crack when he gets angry. You know?
Yeah.
But, it's fine. It's fine. Totally fine. But this particular review just goes into a lot of, this movie is great, and what makes it even better is how it was made. Ebert.
Okay, go ahead.
In terms of sheer craftsmanship, this is a superb film.
Oh.
3.5
Hey,
stars.
There he is. Okay.
3.5 for Unstoppable.
Good job, Ebes.
3.5?
I mean, it's the track record we have with this guy.
Well, I mean, I don't know him. He's deceased. But
I'll take the 3.5.
Okay. But realistically, I would think 3.
I'll take 3.5.
Well, honestly, if it were me, there wouldn't be decimals because that just overly complicates things.
I like it.
Because now you're taking a 4-point scale and needlessly making it an 8-point scale.
Good point.
Quit breaking your scales. That's why we founded this show on, is it worth the ticket price? Yes or no? You can't break the scale. It either is or it isn't.
It's a no 0.5. It's a yes 0.7.
It's a no and a half.
Yeah.
All right. Awards time.
I have a few.
I've got a few. I have the Roger Murtaugh Award for being too old for this shit.
Okay.
Frank is getting too old for this shit.
I have that too, and I said, yeah, Frank, when he gets to the train cars with the pipes, he's like, nope.
I need help.
Okay.
Because I have something written down, but now I'm not so sure I'm right. I know the award is right. Now I'm not so sure who gets it.
Oh, okay.
Because originally I gave the Jackie Chan Stunt Award, Best Stunt Award, to the guy who played the Afghan vet.
Oh, okay. Doing
the train stunt. But then there's also Chris Pine. But then there's also Denzel. And then there's also the Denzel stuntman that took over the rest of it. Like, the movie gets the Jackie Chan Best Stunt Award. But now I'm not so sure which one is the best stunt.
Man, I would have to say the train on top of it running Denzel's. Just because
the guy from a helicopter lowers down onto the train, takes a bump, flies off the train, then collides into the windshield of another car and is then hoisted away, lifelessly dangling from the helicopter cord. That one has a lot of moving pieces to it.
That does. Still, for me, it's the whole running along the top of the trains, because I too have a tremendous fear of heights, and I don't know if I was in Denzel's position, I don't know if I'd be able to do it, honestly.
I don't have a tremendous fear of heights, but I do have a fear of having my legs cut off by a train.
I think we all kind of have that.
we all have that in some degree.
You think that was going to be a bigger part of your life? Kind of like
quicksand? I really, really thought from the era of movies I grew up with, I would have experienced quicksand at some point in my life.
Yeah.
Only for then Mythbusters to come around and say, Hollywood quicksand isn't real.
Yeah. Yeah, Hollywood definitely scarred me on quicksand too. So.
Yeah. All right, what else you got?
I have the Maximus Award for Best Line, and it's
a lot of picks.
It's not a great line, but it's the way it's delivered and the way it made me smile.
Okay.
It's that Connie saying, I'm trying to figure out which one of you I'm going to kiss first. And Denzel just like, me. And my God, I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking at our award board and I don't know if I've got any others that really irrelevant.
What's the best part of this movie for you?
For me, it is probably the S-curve sequence. I think that's got the most tension. The movie's been building up that S-curve ever since we learned that the train is powered. And then within the so we're getting to kind of the big climactic moment of the train track, combined with Chris Pine is injured and trying to work the brakes and the accelerator to slow the train down. The brakes explode out from under his engine. That's cool. All the while, Denzel is running and jumping from car to car. That whole sequence is hot fire.
Okay. For me, it's 777 itself.
Okay.
This movie it's a monster movie.
Oh, yeah.
777 is the monster.
Kind of like Backlash. Backdraft.
Yeah, kind of. It has, I mean, the train has a voice.
Yeah.
The train.
It's just screaming F you at everyone trying to stop it.
It's an accident how it becomes this monster. So it's kind of like Frankenstein a little bit. And
Frankenstein wasn't an accident.
He was a mistake. I mean,
from a certain point of view,
yeah,
but not Dr. Frankenstein.
No. the Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
oh no, I'm not critiquing you on that. I know what you're talking about. Okay. I'm just saying Dr. Frankenstein very much had a purpose that wasn't a mistake or an accident.
Then
he just regretted it after the fact.
That's true. But so then the monster gets to be more powerful and unstoppable.
It's like an accident or a mistake. Like the last voyage of the Demeter.
That whole movie?
Not anything that happened in the movie, the creation of
that movie. Yes. I like that
okay,
better.
Yeah. We got there. We got there.
The train is made into this monster like that movie, Last Voyage of the Demeter.
was made. An unstoppable, unrelenting juggernaut that's just trying to crush my balls.
But it goes through every obstacle without stopping. It turns into this massive destruction machine. But at the end, when it's stopped, it's not killed. It's not like Speed, where the bus has to explode.
Right.
It's just tamed.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think I would wanted to see the train get derailed.
Not after all the work they've been putting in to not derail it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think these guys
and all the school kids it would have killed.
Exactly. So yeah, the 777 for me is the best part of this movie. Just the way it looks, the way it sounds.
Yeah.
The way it just eats through shit. I love it. What's the worst part for you?
I always take this question as you and I always kind of take it and answer the question differently. You look at like individual assets of the movie where I look at sequences of the film itself. Mm-hmm. And I don't think either of us are right or wrong. It's just what is your favorite or least favorite part of the movie? And that can mean anything. I actually appreciate it that we look at it differently. So for me, for the sake of the question, for the sake of the game, if I had to pick a least favorite, it's seeing the phone call of all the executives. Like, do we need to see bald white man on golf course? No. Do we need to see boardroom of miscellaneous suits? No. Does the character of Mr. Galvin satisfy that? Yes. And do we know that he's on the phone with other executives, some like him, some higher up, based on stuff he has said to Connie? Yes. So do we need to see them? Probably not.
Okay. The worst part of this for me, and we actually talked about it, was that end with Dewey.
Yeah.
The fast food thing. That is by far the worst part of this movie for me.
It just leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
It does. And it sucks that it's the last thing that we see.
Yeah.
before the credits, because I'm like, oh, get rid of that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I had a really hard time.
And I also feel like it kind of backhands Ethan a little bit.
A little bit.
Because it's not like they didn't take pictures of the real life people. They used pictures of the actors and actresses.
Yeah.
So there's Ethan's face next to, and this motherfucker has degraded himself by working in fast food. Like,
it's not good. It's not good.
I don't like it.
Do you have a prop?
This is a tricky one because there's not, based off the rules of the question, a prop from the movie that will fit in the studio. There aren't a ton of options here.
I have two.
You have two?
I have two.
And I'm struggling for one? Ass. What are yours? Hit me.
One of them I thought of the other night, and I actually sent you a picture of it. Is Will's phone with the picture of his wife that is actually taken from a moment later in the film.
Sure.
And the other one, the actual one I'm picking though, is the bloody boot.
That's the one I thought of. It would just be Will's bloody boot.
Yep.
With the bloody or the bloody cut through it.
Yep. Yeah. And the duct tape on it. Yep. And I'd put it right over there on the shelf.
Yeah.
It fit perfectly.
I think that's the winner. I really do. Because thinking about it, this isn't that kind of movie.
No, it's not.
But yeah, I think Will's boot would be.
That's what I picked.
All right. Are we there?
I think we're there.
All right, then, Mr. Tevis, live for the people, stare down the barrel of the camera and let everyone know your final thoughts.
Okay. Unstoppable. This movie is awesome. I love this movie. So when I first watched it for the very first time back in 2010, 2011, or whenever I watched it, I was like, okay, that was fine. I didn't appreciate the storytelling, the dialogue, the acting, the practical effects. I think I was so trained to want to see flashy visuals, like CGI visuals, like Inception, shit like that. So I didn't really appreciate that. Watching it for the show, this movie flies by.
Oh yeah.
Once the guys get on the train on, was it 1206?
Yeah.
You blink and it's over. And I watched this after I watched it the first time for the show. I watched it 4 more times. Just throughout the week. I just couldn't get enough of it. And then last night, I was trying to figure out for sure about the boardroom scene. I wanted to make sure that they didn't talk about people at all, and all they was worrying about was money. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm just going to throw it on real quick, watch this scene real quick, and I'll be done. I got sucked into it again. I watched it again, and that's when I noticed the picture on the phone. That's why I sent you that picture. But this movie is so good. The chemistry between Denzel and Chris Pine is fantastic. And Connie, even though they're not on screen together, the action is good. The direction is good. The camera movements are so cool with the helicopter flying by. It makes the train look like it's going even faster than it's going. Because trains look like they're going slow. Yeah. I mean, but, oh no, this movie is 1,000% worth the ticket price. No, watch this freaking movie. It's so damn good. Plus, it's Tony Scott's last film before he died. So,
was it a train accident?
No, he actually committed suicide. So
you could have just stopped it. No,
I know, but I didn't.
What am I supposed to? How do I follow that?
Your final thoughts, sir.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Ass. Oh Lord. I need him. Hold on. Why would you do this to me? What did I do? Is it because I had some family stuff come up and I was late getting into the office today? Is that the problem?
You left me to Google. So I was curious about what all this stuff, and I learned things.
All right. So 2010's Unstoppable, Denzel, Chris Pine. Is it worth the ticket price? Absolutely, it's worth the ticket price, which, let's be honest, we all knew that was coming, right? I don't think anyone is shocked by this revelation. And I actually agreed with the reviews I read. This is an old-fashioned, how did they word it? They use that craftsmanship and the old-school professionalism to make an old-school Hollywood blockbuster. It's writing that you cannot poke a hole in, superb acting, and all of that being crafted in the hands of a master director, making a movie with a deceptively simple premise that would, I think, simultaneously in the wrong hands be made goofy.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not careful. And what you get is a tension-building thrill with characters you care about as they try to stop what is bound to be a horrendous accident. And it's so good. And it is, again, for such a simple premise of must stop train chasing train, and then train stopping train. And yet it will get your heart pounding.
Heck yes.
And I'm not a jump scare guy. I'm not a horror movie guy. I love tension. I love thrills. I love suspense. And this movie is all of that. Absolutely. So I was just eating it with a spoon. I was I'll put it in my face hole. So yeah, 2010 Unstoppable, worth the ticket price. Absolutely. And for some reason, if you haven't seen this movie, go out of your way to see it. Definitely. If you have not seen it in a while, like we hadn't, do yourself a favor and revisit it, because I promise you have forgotten how good it is.
Oh, I 100% agree.
You loved this movie when it came out, and then you moved on, and over time you forgot how good it is. Do yourself a favor, revisit Unstoppable. You will not be disappointed.
Yeah, and I need to issue an apology.
To me?
No, fuck no.
Oh.
No.
What an ass!
I need to issue an apology to my friend Michelle, who's the one who said this was her favorite movie.
Hey, Michelle.
Because I was like, really? The train movie? I take everything I thought back.
She just went, what a dick. Whatever, no, jerk off.
I'm so sorry. You are correct. This movie is fantastic.
It really is.
Yeah.
All right, hat time. Your turn.
Give me the damn thing.
Oh, our first ever hat on screen.
Water all over your notes.
I'm knocking everything on the desk over. Oh, the hat. The hat. What you got?
I don't know.
What you got?
Hang on.
Pick the dusty one, and it'll
all the way to the
be
bottom.
Lethal Weapon or Die Hard 2. Go for the bottom one.
Oh,
can you read it, old man?
Well, my glasses. My glasses.
You just sit there and go,
I feel like my father. Well, not now, but he's dead. But
what is wrong with you?
He would laugh,
but he can't because he's dead.
He's dead.
Didn't you make a joke on air one time about how he was in hell?
Yes. He was looking up at us laughing.
Man, that is some dark humor.
I tell my mom all the time that I want to buy like those Mr. Potato Head arms and glue them to his urn so I can give him a high five.
Might as well put the shoes on him too, so then you can move the urn around and be like, "Oh, Dad's walking around the house."
Dad, stay in your spot. Oh, okay.
There's something horribly wrong with you.
We are doing
Hold on.
Next, The Incredible Hulk from
Wait, you didn't ask. There was
08. Oh, sorry.
You didn't do the.
Okay.
We have a whole bit.
Hint. There's a hint.
Okay.
It's The Incredible Hulk from 2008.
Now, wait a minute. The Incredible Hulk. So this is Edward Norton, William Hurt.
Correct.
Not Eric Bana and Nick Nolte.
No. At least I hope not. 08 was...
Well, no, because Eric Bana was the Hulk.
That's true.
Edward Norton was the Incredible Hulk.
Look, just be sure, because I'm going to be
If I have to watch Eric Bana and Nick Nolte Hulk again, I will be so angry.
Okay, no, it's The Incredible Hulk with...
So angry.
You won't like me when I'm angry. Oh, I went to the theater to watch that. I felt that's the only movie I've ever fell asleep in the theater at. And it was the point where the poodle turns into the Hulk.
The three Hulk dogs.
Yeah,
then
I was
Hulk
like,
punches them in their Hulk dog balls.
This is so stupid. I'm out. I napped.
Also, okay, you're going for your main bag. What was he? Absorbing Man.
Yeah.
He turns into a fucking lake. That then Hulk just gives him his power, and Nick Nolte dies.
I don't know. I was asleep.
Overwhelmed.
I was asleep.
I don't know. I woke up. People were nudging me, like, "Get the hell out of the way, man!" It's
Lights
over.
were on.
I woke up, and all of a sudden, it was just, Steel Magnolias on the screen. I wasn't sure where I was.
Some guy was sweeping up popcorn. I'm like, what? What happened? So no, we are
Don't
doing,
worry, bro. We get that a lot.
We're doing The Incredible Hulk from 08 with
Ed Norton and
Ed
William,
Norton
and William Hurt.
William Hurt.
Don't downplay my man William Hurt.
I said William Hurt.
Absolutely, William Hurt's fantastic.
And Tim Roth.
And yeah, that's right, Tim.
Yeah, I like Tim Roth.
I do too. And what's her face?
Liv Tyler.
Liv Tyler.
Liv Tyler.
She's fine. She's fine. It's fine. Totally.
She peaked in Lord of the Rings. Armageddon. When they do the animal cracker thing.
To the mountain peak. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. That wouldn't have worked, right?
The animal cracker.
Ben Affleck would have been getting zero sex after the animal cracker. Does he not put one
in her belly button?
Yeah, but doesn't he go through the waistline of her pants, like down to the valley?
He tries. Yeah.
In the comments, ladies, the two of you that might be watching, does that work?
Are animal crackers sexy?
Are animal crackers sexy? Do you want your man to be galloping the little animal cracker llama or whatever it is? I think it's supposed to be a horse, but it's definitely not a horse. I think it's a llama.
I don't know.
It's like, up your boobs or like down your pants. Like,
You have an assignment tonight.
Sorry, honey. It's work. We have to.
It's for the pod. No children were harmed in the making of this pod, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
Sorry, hon.
But
no children were sacrificed to the train gods. All right.
All right,
So,
that was fun.
You know what? The 08 Hulk is probably my most watched movie in theaters.
Really?
I saw it 7 times.
Why?
Honestly, it just kind of kept coming up, and I just kind of kept going.
You can stop anytime.
I couldn't. It was awkward.
I guess I shouldn't say anything because I watched Unstoppable 6 times. So within a week.
Like my buddy and I went and saw it. And then I was visiting my mom, and she was like, "Hey, let's go." And I'm like, "All right." She wanted to do something fun. So I saw it with her. And then like another friend was like, "We should go." And I was like, "Okay." And I'm like, maybe we could have just orchestrated all this into one trip. But I ended up going 7 times with 7 different people.
Jesus Christ.
I just kind of happened. I don't know.
Okay.
I've seen this movie a lot.
So you have lots of opinions on it.
You may be new to the show, but I have lots of opinions on everything.
That's true. I don't know why I said that.
I'm kind of a jerk with thanks to our trial and error lighting, a jerk with a huge shiny forehead. Can I tell you a story real quick?
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah.
We're playing Dungeons and Dragons. Everyone's at the table. We're gathered around. And Anna, we're talking about like people getting cosmetic work done and Botox and that sort of thing.
Okay.
And my wife drops the line, I can't believe how young Jake looks. For somebody, because I know she's watching, for somebody who is so, God, what did she say? For somebody who's so tense and angry all the time, he has the smoothest forehead. She's just like, you think he would have developed some sort of wrinklage, at least in the forehead area. Because I'm so angry. My life is just full of hate and anger all the time. All the time. I'm just angry and spiteful and vengeance seeking. And yet I have baby complexion.
Okay.
The look on everyone's face, everyone, myself included, mouth agape in stunned silence before the uproarious laughter. Because apparently my wife dropped the hottest burn. Unfortunately for her, this forehead is bulletproof and it just whoosh, right off, just slid right down.
It's the shininess.
Well, the lights are now just, I'm already kind of a pale person, and these lights are making me translucent. But you know what? It's a work in progress that we're going to iron out, and we're going to look back on this, and we're going to chuckle at it.
Yes, we will.
Yes, we will. Well, all right, everyone. Tevis, do you have anything?
I do not.
All right, then. Thank you all so much for listening and watching. So, if you follow us on any of the podcast channels, we thank you. And if you're browsing us on the YouTube, welcome to the show. We hope that you enjoyed what you saw here. I guess.
I mean,
but most of all, we hope you do follow the show and stick around and check out all the old episodes now, because now I feel like all the non-video episodes are some distant archaic thing, right? We are working on ways to getting those transported over to YouTube as well, so we can have the archived, so that way if YouTube or any of the video platforms are your medium of choice, don't worry, we're not going to forget you, and you're not going to miss out. We're working on getting those uploaded too. We're getting it figured out, one step at a time.
Absolutely.
So thank you all
Baby
so
steps.
much. That's right. And as awkward, uncoordinated as we are, they're really little baby steps that we inevitably we fall down. We have to get up, fix it. So thank you all so much for listening and watching. I'm Jake. That's Tevis. We are Ticket. I'm Jake. We're TicketPrice. This has been 2010's Unstoppable, unanimously worth the ticket price. You must see it, whether for the first time or go back and revisit it. Tune in next week as we look at 08's. Man, that feels like a lifetime ago. As we look at 08's The Incredible Hulk. Let us know in the comments if you got bingo. Ooh, let us know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts, what you think about actually being able to see myself, Tevis, notebook, hat, a little bit of the studio here, a small fraction of Tevis's pops. That's right. Please make more awkward hand gestures. I'm loving it. In the meantime, the most important thing, as always, be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Please be horrible to Tevis. What was it?
Scissor Sisters.
Good night. Good night.
You wanted to do video. It's your fault.